Adolfo no mechurch amonyana meeting editor Fred. Some more share live YouTube the announcer newspaper YouTube. Oko Facebook so I'm share live for all the announcer newspaper Facebook. Oko website announcernewsonline.com. I was also some more share. Yeah, ba abetwetwe komo. Na ne ensem bebre ewo ho aye ba abetwetwe enti obi antena so. Good evening to you, Millicent Ahin. Millicent, how are you doing? Thanks for joining the program. Also to you, Amma Ohima. Amma, you're watching me live from Edmonton, Canada. Thanks for watching. And also, good evening to you, Kelvin Eshel. Greetings to you from New York City, Daddy Fred, and everyone. Oh, thank you very much, Kelvin itself. May God bless you. And Kwajo, prayer answer. Kwajo, also to you, thanks very much for watching the program. Okay, I'm so grateful to you. And good evening to you, Victor Asiedu Young. Victor, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good, right? Today we have a very simple and very nice discussions with you. Today we're going to talk about marriages in abroad, funds going on. So we're going to go into details about that, okay? Evelyn. Wow, said we say spell Evelyn. Evelyn's in the morning. Evelyn, fine now. Where are you? Baby, I will be a Mitchell. My name, baby, I will at Mitchell. We'll be sitting. Hey, so much I say, baby, my business advert. Seriously. Me. Yes, I name when the people how I was coming near man. We don't do that here. I have to block you now, okay? So I'm sorry. I need to block you. We don't like those things here, okay? So my name is Daddy Fred, and thank you very much for joining me. Komara Evelyn says I don't know whether she's watching me live from Saudi Arabia. Nana Kwa Redu, Nana Kwa is watching me. Thank you, Nana. Mechia will be a Kobe Boache, also at the saying Sasana Amwa, Mechia. I don't know my Baba Juni and Simbi home. Nanyamin Kwa. Jumadina Ebidino, a adventure. We are say, Yedim say Yankopon, Nadaruma, a casse, a warrior, and Kitty Sundri or Donning Kabum Eba. Obise empanatwe kwotwe mprakwa na nanije cha warriors alo bi kan na ohun se abrochire sika bia wa ha omo ye adwuma list de obedi de emmo enti kaya na kaya me ayi senka abrochire ha de ka wa ha na wona udofo bi wo ha anka otim se niam kwa animu pa kama edimam enti enya ye behwe we are going to analyze things critically the intia abrochire warrior problems vom bebre as compared to Ghana they would say na ensheda endim bebre sa ewo mu so kra nurses but abrochire the ndm say ano shipa yi na bebre ama instances bebre binom say abiso wa hwe me from Northampton ewo UK me chia wo baby awo ewo UK ebinom say sika ni bre ewo ebinom say kwase abuo ewom ebinom se no koreka ewom nti sika ni bre kwase abuo no koreka ewom ebinom so say wono de se pa woni be ma ware na woni no beka sika abom de anya de so be ye da ewa abrochi ba so de enim ne se abrochi so de wo ware obi a na wa ware no woni no wo ma be ye mensa enan na woni ne kasika boma na aye dan bebere se da bi omode ewumzo ma ware all right but oni ne kunu pa de nya de se omu beka sika abom nti hono so ekire ya adwene kakra nti hono so ye ba behwe hon sansam no nyina na ya adwendwene ho nti hwe ma obia wode all obia view nko we sisi na me bese me buza se de be nti na abrochire nka haye anigye kurum sei binum si abrochire de oba na bibia akoyi ama abrochire oba na ne ma bia akoyi ama no na so binum ba na akoye bibia wo ho na eno no kire amamfo adwene kakra ahun se nka otiwi ase a nka asumdwie awari mo asumdwie de ozenka ye best pa ka wo yoba na otiko utimi se wasum tro when you be made me think almost oh Sherry Asante at the same match from UK. More shameno, when you ferry be our concern, Diana. You bit mama quine, Babaso life, no Becassa. Yet nay pesado in Chireno, ever. Until Bia wit me aba, no Becassa, Bia and Sim quine. I didn't ready any back of food trim and tea. Yankopɔn inu aba bi adwene me wɔ ha nti yɛba na yɛabɛdwendwene ho nti montam aso na mobɛte nsɛm bebree ɛwɔ afidie so nti it's gonna be very nice, okay. Nti modeɛ moda montam aso din na mede ne ka ho na afei yɛahyɛ aseɛ seriously nti mekyerɛkyerɛ ho aburukyire awareɛ mu nsɛm nti ɛho nsɛnsɛm na yɛbɛdwendwene ho no nti mekɔ na mede no ajoin na afei yɛatoa so ne abɛte sɛn.
Hi Daddy, how's it going?
Good. Why? You seem very sad. Why? Is the weather not good for you?
No, I'm not sad. No.
Yeah, you seem very relaxed, very quiet.
I'm relaxed, but I'm not sad. I don't have a reason to be sad.
Oh, that's fantastic. Nah, how is everything going on? It's saying.
Everything is going well, and I know this topic, we were discussing it earlier on, and we said, okay, let's do a show this evening. And so I just want to say, pardon your viewers to pardon me, because I'm going to speak majority. Mostly I'm going to talk in English just because I'm more articulate when I speak English versus speaking Twi.
But yes. Try as much as possible. Never more.
Yes, of course, yes.
All right, so I will very much appreciate if you at least make the tree more for us, okay?
I'll try. Okay.
Aburukyire Suja saying is it here?
Suja is what is that? Like someone
so
who's
we are
not married?
Bachelor now. So
okay. First of all, I feel sad. We shouldn't limit this topic. We will not be doing justice to this topic if we just limit it to
it starts from one question, it will be broader, but starts from one question.
Yes, marriage in the States, because I think marriage everywhere is failing.
Everywhere. It shouldn't be any abroad. It shouldn't be only abroad, right?
Yes. Marriage everywhere, honestly, is failing. Earlier now Okase back home that marriages work much more than they do here in America. I don't think that's factually true. I think it equally doesn't work, but we're not vocal about it in back home.
Argentina, why is it that Argentina only say
that's what I'm trying to explain. It feels sad, like it's we're not vocal about it back home. Like asem more about marriages not working back home, because we are raised to be very laid back and very timid back home. Oh yeah, if you're a woman, your parents raise you to be very timid. Like your place is the kitchen. Don't even be ambitious. Like be ambitious to a certain extent, but the man has more power. Like the man has power over a woman. And so back home, in my very like laid back and relaxed. So we don't get to voice issues that we're dealing with in marriages. And so I think that's the difference why we don't hear about marriages not working, but they're not. They're not working.
Yeah, but
we don't hear about it because they don't hear about it because we're not vocal about it. However, when it comes to abroad, we're very vocal about it, because like how we're raised and how women live here. Women have a voice in these parts of the world, and so we hear more that like the marriage and Juma and stuff like that. Now, to go into why marriages are not working, and this is my opinion, and so I could be wrong.
I just want to chip in. I just want to chip in. I want to refer to what you just said about hope. When him say fear relationships on this animal. Yeah, and I said a man more than a man. Sorry, I was.
Okay.
A man, they are gainfully paid, even if not gainfully, but they are the people who go for money for the home to take care of daily activities. And so as a result of that, not specifically that we've given all the power to the men or something, but equally there are women who can also work, who are taking authority at home as well back home.
Absolutely, that's so correct. And I just want to point out that marriage in its concept has nothing to do with who's working and who's not. You know, it's just layers of it that has to do with those aspects. But marriage as, okay, a man and a woman coming together has nothing to do with, okay, you know, you take care of this bill, I'll take care of that. No. The reason why I say that,
Why is it
you
no?
go,
Why is it
wait,
no?
wait.
No, I have to chip in.
Let me make my
no?
Let me make my submissions first, because then I lose my train of thought. And so another thing I was going to add to that is, back home, like you said, men are raised to be, you know, the head of the family, which is, and it's rightfully so. That's exactly how it's supposed to be.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be. But then it doesn't do, in attempting to do that, we circumvent women. You know, we make women timid. We don't make them bold and articulate. And
Pastor, it says that,
you know,
I'm not cutting you short, but I have to come in. I won't let you talk all the way.
Okay,
but
of course.
We call something submissiveness. So it's a form of submissiveness.
Oh my goodness. See, you're not letting me make my point, because I was going to come to that. You're not letting me make my point. You need to make me make my point.
I will chip in that one.
I will get, you will answer your questions will be answered if you allow me to make
all
my
right,
point.
you just go
I'm
ahead.
not saying that it's not a good thing. All I'm saying is, yes, because marriage, okay, let me try to make the point that I want to make. So what is marriage, right? For any marriage to work, there's something called structure, there's something called foundations, you know, there's something called a chain of authority. So marriage in itself, when you look at it, it says, and let me just use scripture, let me throw in some scripture here. It says, when you look at the Bible, like the biblical concept, because God created marriage, right? Marriage is not created by a human being. Marriage is an institution that God himself put together. And so if you want to do marriage and you want marriage to work according to the way God put it together, if that's your idea of a marriage and that's the kind of marriage you want, then you have to follow those principles. And God says that for your marriage to work, for marriage to be successful, men, love your wives. Men, love your wives. Women, submit to your husband. Submit to your own husband. It says submit to your own husband because you chose that husband. So I jotted down a couple of points that I wanted us to discuss and wanted us to talk about, which I feel contribute to the reasons why a lot of marriages don't work. First of all, women, I want to tell you this: don't marry a man that you don't respect. Right? Because if you marry a man that you don't respect, you're going to have issues submitting to him. Already, the foundation of that marriage it's not going to work. You're already doomed before you go into it. How you marry someone you don't
respect in what sense?
Respect in terms of, you know, you cannot honor that person. Like, I respect you. It doesn't mean I'm afraid of you. I respect you. Like, if you tell me something, like if you call me up and you say, hey, maybe you said this or you said that, I don't agree with you, I listen to you. Like, when you advise me, I take it. You know, when you're offended with me, it hurts me, I apologize to you, right? And I do things that will make you happy. Your happiness is a factor in everything that I do. I consider your feelings, I consider your thoughts, I consider your opinions, right? And so if you cannot do that with the man that you're marrying, then it's a waste of time. Don't marry a man that you cannot respect. You're going to have issues submitting to that man, right? And it is essential that as a woman,
I agree with you in that sense. Go ahead.
And as a woman, it's essential that for your marriage to work, there's going to have to be an aspect of submission. I think the word submission has been so misconstrued that you know, that when your kasi is submissive, it's almost like
bro.
But then a lot of
that was all your bar. Your bar. I mean, your bar. So miwura me poacha wo etesen miwura me poacha wo bedidie on show some submissive man be man hu se o hu sa miwura de be na wo je ene etesen ukọ adwuma etesen ne de ka ho afi so okasa mu no da bia na wo di buo bom na wo bre wo ho ase. But I'm saying you know of recent times. We don't see that of recent times.
That's what I'm saying. For some reason, and you know, I want to make this point very quickly before we move on. When God says, men, love your wives, women, submit yourself to your husband that you chose. The two is not like a woman submitting to her husband is not him loving her. It's not a prerequisite. Like, it's not a prerequisite for you to love me, for me to submit to you, meaning that I don't have to submit to you if you love me. Regardless of whether you do or not, I still have to submit to you, because both are individual commands, right? He said, men, love your wives, but he didn't say you get to respect your husband if he loves you. There was no if. He said, love him regardless, right? And a lot of times I feel like, we wait for to see if maybe your husband loves you before you submit to him. Again, the two has nothing to do with each other. That's his part that he needs to play. That's his role that he needs to play. And then you have a role to play. And so the fact that he's not playing his role doesn't mean you shouldn't play yours. It's not an excuse for you to say, okay, because he's not doing his part, then that obliterates me from not doing my part. It doesn't work like that, And going back to your point that you made, that these days we don't see a lot of women submitting to their husbands. That's true. For whatever reason, I really cannot tell what the reason is.
Here me pa say of recent times. On shed them who say a man be a bro ase ma omukunu no. So many issues or issues in us. But of recent times, why? Say a man will be a mere ase omukunu.
I said earlier that a woman submitting or Barbara it's him loving her. It's not a prerequisite of she submitting to him, but we've made it so in these recent times. Or Barbara there has or per se, like, there has to be some things that the man is doing first, right?
But then again, just who near maybe a bear money.
Answer.
Wow. And you maybe to say.
And you might be to say you love your wife, because it's very easy. Nikno really, really loves her. Like, he does everything for her. He honors her. He respects her. It's very easy for any woman to submit to a man like that.
Very important point.
It's very easy. So Baba Brennan Huasiama Bema Onimse Openo. And or respect or no obano. So what I say, Senya or Obana Fele, like what she thinks she's valued, both her mental or her intellectual.
So how would you know, upon your own analysis or based on how you see it, how would you know that the man really loves you? You got to submit yourself to the man.
That's a good question, but you see, you don't owe human being. Bible says you don't owe people anything except for love. And so love itself is a feeling. Nobody can see love. We don't see it physically. But how do you know someone? How do you know someone loves you? It's by expression. You understand? So okay, this person loves me, because love and nipa obetimi attach say, oh, love in you, love to say love your kokwana, love your tuntum. Love is it's a feeling.
Love, yeah. I'm the color and I'm riff, but I'm color.
So what I said, love is a feeling. It's not a human being that you can touch, right? And so based on the things that you're doing, based on your expression of love, that's how someone knows whether you love them or you don't love them. Until you don't cheat on your wife. You honor your wife. You respect her. You take her out. You make her feel like a woman. You make her feel appreciated. Fan for granted. Like Dina can say, oh, my love, it's the best meal I ever had.
No. Yes, you are not being truthful to her.
Oh, no.
Don't do that. Satisfaction. You have to voice it out. You have to let her know that the food wasn't tasting properly, delicious.
Not at that time. See, there's timing for everything. Because what you do when you do it,
you see, you also
no. See, you don't do you. That's the thing. There's time for everything. Timing is critical when it comes to relationships, because at that moment, you are dampening her spirit and you're disregarding her effort. Aduane no ase enye easy. Obi be gina kitchen, obi gina ne na so aye aduane ama when African menu no mo pe fufuo ne one coin and obi gina or pam like doing quite what really effort goes into it. And then within that time, then you tell her that why you know serve no aye bibia no aka so aduane we dey enko yi. No, you don't do that. You wait. If aduane ne enko yi, you say, "Oh, thank you." Even if you don't want to tell her that, you don't want to like give her false hope, then just say that, don't say anything about the taste. Just be grateful and say, "Oh, odomida say what take time and we mami." And then later on another day, only no maybe I'm dump like moody in common waka say, "Oh, odo ebia next time when maybe I'm chineno say money and yet too much. Why?" And I be a mekoni sono. Maybe I'm managing it too much. However, no, the food was good. I'm not saying it's not good, but I'm just saying that it be Adriana, next time in Chino, no I'm moderate. That's how you do it. You don't bring it up within that same time. It's just like the way it be a woman, my mom person, my ben nagemo. So what I say, be away for Juma, but what bre person, bano, abedano, china, obebanu, what the tuma abo ni mo say you kind of say na what shedu could be no jina hona or person nagel. You're gonna get upset. You're not gonna appreciate that. You understand? But maybe later on, I relax, be a wako dry, you are refreshing, you're taking your mind off, whatever was stressing you out. Maybe we'll share football and I see BD where did you one man one way journey, she's massaging your feet, say, "Oh, Mira, like what I spoke to you about, like you still haven't given me any kind of mwaya. You appreciate that more. Versus you're just coming in and then she meets you right at the door and start nagging you about something she spoke to you about. You understand? So timing is critical. You need to know what time to do what and what time to say what. You understand? And so that's one aspect. Don't dumping her spirit and making her feel like, okay, her efforts are not appreciated. Who is going to submit you like that? If I feel like you don't appreciate my effort, I'm not going to submit to you.
Hold on 1 second. Your bear man would hear me now. We interested, so join the conversation now. Send me hi, what number ya media to us. Media good screen you see. But more the link abroad no join here now. So a contribution be episode the banner. It should be much appreciated. In fact, it been no business with Dean crowd him so musa.
Meeting di nana kia.
Okay. Nana kia, yeah, share at it. Why we interested? Be send me hi, what number is so now. Memfa link give him on a join here. Nana kia, what can send be brameti? What
I haven't even started my point.
No, you haven't started. We are just preparing towards it. And what can some be brave? One my instances be need the black proof be supported. But abruchri highway. Abruchri highway. Bema bia na so de baby and bema bia emfa ba so when next na e bra no.
Obviously.
Bema bia do bands and on that. But Obabi were initially very submissive to you. Very respectful as well. But on any check immediately, as a result of that, born in school, as a result of that, onya baby didn't nice not disrespectful. Because Ojiska no Sujiska. Now the a year a warrior Ghana not respect woman. Because Obano when Sika, Utimitu Nika Kobebia, or Ebibia. So what does he need from you?
See, that's one aspect of a marriage. There's a lot of marriages in this world. So maybe that's just a few instances that you're mentioning. I don't think every case is like that. So to make my original point, I feel again a lot of inkwafo marriage with the wrong idea. They don't understand the concept of marriage. Marriage has nothing. It has very little to do with love. Love is just a fraction of what marriage is. It's not, like you just said, obi and worry not thankful, right? Obi and Timothy can worry obi on penny. Everybody loves, when you're going to a marriage, obviously you love the person. That's why you want to marry the person, right? Nobody marries their enemy, and nobody is married at a gunpoint. Obi and fag gun, so said by force married. Sani power. You understand? So what is marriage? Once we get the definition right, then we will be able to address it and go into it with expectations that make sense. You understand? Marriage is about purpose. It says, for this purpose, a man and a woman will come together. It did not say love anywhere. Again, love is a very small, fraction of marriage in its entirety. So what I say, and men are very, let me just, men are very selfish, beings. Not, it's just how they were created. Men are very selfish. When God created a woman, it says you are a support for the man. You come to support him. You're a helpmate. You come to help the man. And so men go into marriage with that aspect that, okay, they come from a place of need. The need being that this person is my support. And everybody has a definition of what that support means to them. Some men, it will be like, okay, maybe, I'm going into marriage, or I'm picking and I'm choosing this woman to marry her because I feel like to me as supporting me to meet the goal that I have, ahead of me, maybe, to amount to what I want to become in the future or whatever. Everybody's, need is different. So what I say, but you have to understand that, especially women, men are doing exactly what they need to do. They come from a place of need when they come into marriage. Women don't. Women go into marriage for all sorts of reasons.
Can you read this comment? Can you read this comment?
Oh, let me say, I agree with you, Daddy Fred. Sometimes after you make the poor person rich, he or she tries to take advantage of you. Some makes them feel stupid but that's exactly what I'm saying. The person is not listening to me. I'm saying that people go into marriage for a whole different reason that has nothing to do with marriage. That is why it's important that you, the person that are getting married to someone, you're very, very particular about who you're marrying. I mean, this is someone you're going to do life with. One man sorry can call closet a thought went into what you want to wear, right? So you thought about what you wanted to wear. You think about the opesudi, you think about like your work, everything you do, a thought goes into it. But why do people treat marriage like it's just something, you can just throw on and go? A lot of thought don't go into that. And this is, you're doing life with someone. You're doing a whole life with someone. So, of course, you have to take time to understand what marriage is, the principles about marriage, what makes marriage work, what makes it doesn't work, the partner that you're choosing, because that partner determines everything. You understand this question that this person asks? Obviously, one person came in the marriage with an ulterior motive. That's the time where, he's saying, oh, you make her rich and then she runs away. Of course, the person came in the marriage, not because they're in love with you, not because there's a purpose that binds you together, because again, it's purpose that holds marriage together. It has nothing to do with love. Love is just a fraction of it. It's purpose. What purpose are you going into this marriage for? You understand? Some women go into marriage thinking, oh, there's pressure, society, and mommy pressure, I have to go into marriage. That's a wrong mindset. That means you're laid back. That's it. What you came for, no, you have met that need. So you become lackadaisical. You're relaxed. There's nothing more to work for. You understand? That's a wrong mindset to go into marriage with. And another thing that I want to say really quickly, Uncle, is that marriage is not a right. Marriage is a privilege. It's an honor. People treat marriage as if it's a right, like, oh, it's my right to get married because I'm a woman, he's a man, we're entitled to get married. No, you're not entitled to anything. Just because you're a human being, you're a man and he's a woman, doesn't mean you're entitled to marriage. Marriage is an honor. Marriage is an honor bestowed on you. Marriage is a privilege that someone will leave their parents' house and cleave onto you and just vow their life to you, to do life with you. That's an honor. And people take that aspect lightly, especially a lot of times, for some reason, a lot of times it just happens to be like women. And unfortunately, I mean, per se, like, but I think, sir, for us to really be able to, for us to really be able to identify the issue and find solutions to it, we need to speak the truth. So what I say, Uncle. So we need to go into marriage for the right reasons. Oh, yeah, what do you say? Ebia, oh, nipa way, ebia, oh, was scanting me, quack, or diwa no one. Ebedu, baby, na scanning sound anything. Sikane sound, then what happens? You've gone into marriage. You went in with the idea of getting, because he's rich. When he's not rich anymore, what happens to the marriage? Or you go into marriage because you're like, oh, I'm getting old, I want children. So after you have the children, what happens? You understand? So you really need to sit down and say, okay, I have a purpose, he have a purpose, our purpose aligns with each other, it aligns with God's plan for us, and this is the reason that we are going into this marriage. So no matter what, come rain, come shine, we're going to make it work. We're not going it and say, oh, because or wusika, so nisika, that means I'm gone. No, it doesn't work like that. Find the purpose that binds you to that other person. That's what makes marriage work. And then selfishness doesn't help us. Well, uncle, there are too many selfish people going into marriage. If you're selfish, please, you have no business going into marriage, because marriage is selfless. Or baby will on pet people and on pet like on penipa on pet nipa bemba like like within the space, the personal
Just
space.
I said penipa. Is that what you're trying to say?
I said like I'm kind of like ne born and I say bibisa. So what I say like say or yeah like or yeah or like I don't know the right word in tree to use, but there's some people like that. They like their personal space. If you love yourself, maybe going into marriage is not a good thing. And I'm not saying don't love yourself because you have to love yourself. But if you're so engraved in yourself, if you're if you're a narcissist, or you'll be a narcissist, you have no business going into a marriage. Your marriage is going to fail. I guarantee you it's going to fail, because marriage is selfless. Come on, this is a different human being coming into your space. This is someone totally different. You're very neat. You'll be to say me, uncle. And my family people will tell you, if you come into my space, I am such a neat freak. I like everything where it's at. Say me dia to I say me light where see I say see her. Please don't move it. Me banu we move ya me bube fu say see her. I like my things a certain way, and very particular about the way I like my things. If I put this thing here like this, and I come and you've moved it like that, we're going to have an issue. Leave my things the way it. Now, someone like me, I will need to get out of that mindset to prep myself for marriage. You understand? Because you cannot come and get angry at your husband because you put this here and then he moved it like that. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You're going to have to meet each other halfway. So what I say, then you have to pick up after him. Only akuma for that kind of thing. If you're someone who's very particular like me, of course you're going to get upset. But those things are things that you're going to overlook, because so what I say, that is why it's important that from the beginning,
and you are not satisfied with it, you can just advise the person for the first time. Say, I don't want that. It's because what you have to understand is that you will be every different family and into be with different cultural background altogether. And we were nurtured or trained differently. So things that I'll do that I feel comfortable with it will not be the same as yours. So that's why we have individual differences playing here and coming together with individual views. So views should be accommodated. That should be reality. So let's assume that your preference will say, okay, don't put this here, and you put it here, it's going to be like this. And another guy too will say, the husband will say, oh, he doesn't see anything wrong with it. Don't you think it will bring like a little bit confusion and misunderstanding? And that's
what
problem.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That marriage is compromise. It's not self. Once you come into a marriage, that self ideology, it has to go. It's us. It's you. It's me. Because we become one, right? And so just because I like things a certain way, because you have to voice it out. Yes. If that person is able to change, that's fine. Absolutely. Then great. That person changes and then there's peace, right? But what if that thing that the person does that you don't like, what if it's a character? What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to make a fuss every time he does it. And do you understand? So now you ask yourself, what about this human being can I compromise on? And what are some of the things about him? It's not a compromise. It's a no bueno for me. Like a Spanish person would say, it's no bueno. Because there's going to be some things that you're going to have to compromise on. And then you say every day there'll be a disagreement. Every day your house is going to be on fire. So what I say? So marriage is a compromise. It's you have to find that line that you draw the line. There's some things that you're going to draw the line on, but then there's some things that you're like, okay, I'll have to compromise at this place. It's the same thing. The other person is also going to have to compromise about certain things about you. That way we can live amicably. Other than that, we're always going to fight. You understand? Does that make sense?
Very, very absolutely. But the point is, you see, relationship and as a marriage na ankasan. Abruche dian. I say a difference be kakra. Because upon critical analysis, back in Ghana, I just say worry nipa na nije wom bebre. What I say nije bebre because the mood didn't cry back okra na momfa ho. Bibia koso kama. Ba unche so ba no kra say e bia me twe me ho ana me yesi but ha no am say sikasem no it play a major role.
It's a cultural difference. Who said back home, like we were saying, the way that your parents, when we were growing up, the way marriage was done, again, it gives a lot of power to the man. It gives very little power and authority to the woman. And so a lot of things, like she shuts up and just takes it. Here, it's not like that. Here, the culture empowers women to speak up. So what you say, Oba, the opinion and the thought, it's valued. They want to hear about your thoughts. They want you to be opinionated. Women have opinion versus home where the culture doesn't really support that. Internet, it's just a cultural difference, what you're talking about. It's a cultural difference. And unfortunately, when a man or they adapt to the culture here. And so it alters whatever they learned from back home. You understand? And so then they come in here and then of course they pick up some of the bad habits. So that is the issue. That's why it makes it look like, there's a difference between marriages here and marriages back home. It's just a cultural difference, to answer your question.
I don't follow Jumade share live. Our YouTube, the announcer newspaper, so Facebook, the announcer newspaper. So the same brain na so. And then you're doing some worry some problems man for can air coso. Because they say Ubi crash more catcher and me crash, I say. On an air crowd worry 4 years in almost America. There be was 6 years in it. On your banner, yes, a woman pass grab and say, oh, Debbie, my bread, any dear come home, or so burn my bread, any dear come home. And also can't marriage, Now I will say, oh, ba, Udo, come me, Ukuno. Some factors winning my bread, sir. I would say there are so many people more stressed, say, Jenny go almost on the as a result of the money be a man money be. And a be so dear man money be so yeah money be. Yeah. 2 things.
I think Ahanamu say the way marriage can work in this you and your partner, it's 2 things, right? It's either say Obeka say, okay, me or Beman. Because I think majority of the issue that affects marriage in this country, it's about like a jumane sanya man into no say oh my bread and I say, I don't want no price my bread. It's about money. It's a lot of it has to do with money. So it's 2 things. It's either Mobet Nasi, both of you will come in agreement and say, okay, me or Beman, I'll take the hassle of having to go and work and then bringing, raising the money and then taking care of our financial needs, and then you stay home and then take care of the kids and be a housewife. It's either that or you two come and agree and say that, okay, we split the bills. Everything is going to be 50-50 because the Bible said, can 2 work unless they agree? So even forget marriage. Agree. How can the friendship work? Maybe person call her, how can we make the friendship work? So everything we have to come in agreement, right? And so you say, okay, the second option is maybe we split everything 50-50. So when we're taking care of the kids, we split 50-50. I take care of the kids Monday, Tuesday, you take care of them Wednesday, whatever. And then you go to work, I go to work. You bring something in, I bring something in. We split everything. That way, and Tiasia woho into no banner me. So when you're gonna catch them, say Wabre saying the same thing you're doing is the same thing I'm doing. And so what's your excuse? But yet when and Tiasia nye Juma, everybody is just doing their own thing. That's what creates the confusion because there's no understanding. You can't see, so say, okay, this is what we're doing. right? And so we are following the script. Wow, oh yeah, why dear, Miss Me, yeah, my dear. And no, dear, Oba meeting a catch us in my bread. So what I say? But say me no na yet na se ne fire ho adwene ka se ne ye na entiase wo ho into no minim so okay a do time way a was se minim kunu hia. So what I say? Into the way your brain be anymore, you already have your understanding. The problem is everybody is doing their own thing, uncle. So what I say? Obana yo no ane de bemani so yo no ane de. What kind of marriage is that? What kind of marriage works like that?
But
it's not gonna work.
have you seen those are the issues that caused recently? Because Obana yene de bemani yene de. Obana kwadwa me will be a minim na me na ye adwuma. I draw my attention say baby I don't dey adrun there. I will say or yene de we so yene de. Into why just assume say Obana kwadwuma bema no so kwadwuma. Omubefie responsibility wa wari mu no some betina se agi omani kakra kwa pia bonten ene ombetina dem ayi bibia but omunya mmerekura anya hwe the sadness is really say okọ ba no se there bi oba bi atro sharia santi atro de bi was say it's not about money but mostly women change when the men start to cheat. Bema bisu wo hoso a so nim say bia oba ne yesa na ebi oba ne dwuma mu akofa bema bi wa na akofa bema bi oba bi ne de ho nti manum nya sleepless night until you see say saade no eno na di problems bebree cause because bebree ne omukunum no kura na so mo dampa ba akoso.
What Sherry, let me just answer what Sherry just wrote. I agree with her to a certain extent, right? And that's what we're saying about respect. Of course, you know, I mean, what is respect? If once you start to cheat on your wife, would start to cheat on it. So of course, well, already what disrespected. So what you here? But there are a lot of men who cheat and almost spouses and name so muye baby. Into no the only moon swear. You understand? She has no idea that's what he's doing. You understand? But then the men who cheat and then they make you know, see, oh, cheating, and that's a man who clearly does not disrespect you. And again, I want to make it clear that the minute that he already crosses that line to cheat on you, the disrespect has already happened. Already, no respect is thrown outside the door. But if he's not throwing it in your face and you don't know, you can't fight what you don't know. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, sir. What's his name? Rem. That's very ridiculous, and that's an absolutely nonsense statement. That's not true. Let me tell you something. Whatever you're looking for, it's looking for you. If that person is a man, that women, if you're watching, that's the man you want to avoid. Just by the way, and then because that he's going to give you
campaigning against the man. Why are you campaigning against the man?
Because as a man thinketh, so is he. When the way you think is your character, eventually your thoughts become your actions become your character. And so if that's what he's saying, then that's who he is. And so women, avoid that kind of mindset. So what I said, there are men out there, they don't cheat. Uncle, there are men, come on, say, maybe what done for Christopher, but they don't even cheat on their wives. They don't. They do not cheat.
So how do you explain that?
No, because they're disciplined. It's all about discipline. Even outside of relationships, for you to amount to anything in life, okay, maybe in 5 years I want to become a millionaire. It doesn't happen just by saying it, you know. Once you speak it, it goes into your subconscious. Everything that you do warrants that effect, that warrants that result that you're expecting. And so whatever you're doing, you're working towards what you want. It takes discipline. It takes focus. So you can't. So you're telling me that every man is undisciplined? No, men are not. That thing that he's talking about, it's not true. The early men that we know, say Christo, Ghana for the Bebrenaye Christopher, and especially in Conformo Show, Bebrenaye Christopher, so they will understand. Mo Bible now, mo kind of. How many men and now you're from what scripture? How many men cheated? Even when you take Abraham, for instance, Abraham, the wife in a forcing is on your baffle from Kwakoda. The wife in a forcing, a share so say on your baffle from Koda. Isaac, there was no record of Isaac passing around messing with other women. Even Jacob worked for 14 years for one woman. David,
you are talking about old stories.
No.
Old
Testament. What are you talking about?
You are talking about Old Testament.
No. He didn't say. We're not talking about Old Testament men versus men are men. Obama. What are you talking about? Men are men. We're talking about men. We're not talking about old men, new men. We're talking about men. A man is a man.
New Testament issue, current issue.
But even that, it's not there. The thing is, it's people who are not disciplined.
Obi say what down for now trust you. Say discipline. You say now or say probably they do that, but they don't tell you. Because wherever they go, you don't monitor them, you don't see them, you only see them out one day. Oh, hi, what's up? How is it thing? But whatever they do privately, they don't see it. So if they are doing that, how do you know?
There's something called character. There's something called character. See, the questions are not, I mean, okay, let me not say that. But the thing is, there's something called character. You understand? Say, obi frame no kasi we're very close, me and you. Right? Yeah. We're very, very close. Yeah. Obi frame no kasi daddy Fred abefa my dear. I can put my hands on the chopping board and say no. How do I know that? It's because I know you.
Yeah.
I know that is not your character. That is out of your character. You understand? I can vouch for you. It's the same thing. Versus if someone comes and says, oh, Ebia, Daddy Fred or defending NPP, I'll say, oh, yeah. Don't tell me the terms. Don't tell me the terms. Don't tell me who he was defending. I know for a fact that's true. Because I know it's within your character traits, right? Yeah. That is who you are. That is what you do. I know because why you be that? So what you say? You understand? So there's something called character. So if you say that, oh, maybe in secret, no. Your character is something that you do in secret. Your character is something that, when nobody is looking, that you do. And so it's personal integrity. There are a lot of people who have personal integrity. I have personal integrity. I'm a one-man woman. I don't cheat on nobody. If I have to cheat on you, I'll walk away from that relationship before I do that. Because, and that's why I told you from earlier on from our conversation, I told you there are too many selfish people in a relationship, because you're cheating on that person because you're not considering how it would make the other person feel. Like, oh, okay, you didn't know, like, or my partner, if they find out, how is it going to make them feel? Like, what is it going to do to them? Sometimes you have to put yourself, not even sometimes, all the time, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like, if I'm in a relationship with you and I cheat on you, how are you going to feel when you find out?
Say, say, man, the yarn and shadan serious society say, about chichidia was a World Cup. But there was a shadan.
So are you telling me that the woman it's a year in Shona, a year pure water no muton Ghana, and been a good event Simona? And you're a good event Simon. And so when a man and so when a man does it, it's bearable, but when a woman does it, no, because the woman is pure water in her veins, it's not blood. That's a ridiculous thing. See, people who want to do what they want to do, they're going to do it and make excuses. It's because they don't want to do better. You don't want to do right. That's why you keep making these excuses. But you have to go into a relationship with the mindset that, look, this is something that we've decided to do between you and me. Nobody is holding a gun to our head, or nobody forces nobody to get married. I'm yet to see anyone who's been held at gunpoint to get married. Obviously, you love the person you're going in a relationship with. That's why you're doing that marriage. And so the same responsibility you had to choose that person and take that adult step to go into that marriage, use that same responsibility to take care of that person and take care of the commitment that person has given to you. Don't just go and misbehave. You want women to honor and submit to you, but you don't want to do your part of loving. What do you think love is? Again, the only thing you owe someone is love. And your actions is what shows the person that you love them or not. Unfortunately, in this day and age, a woman will give herself selfless to you if you're a man who can take care of that selflessness and her vulnerability. A woman will submit to you if she can trust her vulnerability to you, if she can trust that you're going to take care of her. Because 3 things a man needs to do: profess, protect, and then provide. If you're doing all these three and she's still not submitting to you, then I don't know what to say. Then I don't know. Then whatever you want to do from there, you got to do it. If you want to walk away, then you got to do it, because there's no way a man is protecting, he's professing, he's providing, and then the woman will say, no, I'm going to do my own thing. It's not true.
So like I said, you've seen what the person has written on the page. He says that if you are a woman and you keep your money from your man, build a house in Ghana, the question is, who are you building the house for?
But see, we keep getting these
another scenario kakra. Obi ne yere na chifie o ma ware comfortably. Omo ma mienu a wo mutifie. Oba no kwa adwuma na aka be ma no kwa ofie na ohwe TV. Ena oba no enua be ma frɛ be ma no. So wa frɛ ni sister wonya no. Na nka ontie message na onka nkyere ni sister man. Message ban ya o carpenter ni ne say aka moso no obehia sika sei. Messi ni say plastering ne de we painter ni say why ready. They will say painting down by next week. Into on first can be mira. Na omo fam painting down na omo moso no munwie. They say your mat to war ni nyina wie why fe pai. Be man is the sister there. Why na wo kana so say o yere. You say okay na me bona mane. Oba no fred man ba na be man bisa ne say. Ndi say wa ko sit down wo Ghana na oni. One no woman mienu. The wine a wussy dine man. You see what I mean? No banner both right and I just say, oh, yeah, Diana, me, Diana,
so a lot of these questions, it's repetitive. We've already answered, that kind of question. Again, there are too many selfish people going into marriage. Of course, that's an act of selfishness. Because and that's clearly someone who does not understand the concept of marriage. Marriage, there's no I in marriage. There's a we, there's an us. If your language after marriage is still I, is still me, you have a huge problem. Clearly, you don't know what you're doing. Clearly, you don't have an understanding of what you just got yourself into. So again, there are too many selfish people who are getting into marriages they have no business getting married. That person obviously doesn't have to get married. But then again, we only know the woman aspect. What did the man do to warrant her behavior? You understand? Because women were always going to be receivers. Men are always going to be givers. You understand? A woman, I'm a receiver. I'm created to receive whatever you give to me. And so what you're giving to me will determine how I'm receiving it and what I'm giving back. A woman multiplies whatever you give to her. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not cutting you short, but I'm saying a woman say selfishness and this name like what you earlier indicated. But sadly, we specifically a very broad topic itself. I'm talking about a same way na mekayen. I don't want to me. Ama it's a same baby abama me. Sending me on a friend phone so. You used to say for some quality, bit may use the actually fine. But how so ban who sit down with the sea? Know your point number one. Point number two, only woman being so when not to us a bearman crown of a foul bar brutally, would not to us 8 years. Not only that dime back every day. If you want a quadruma, no way to messy diamond drew a barrel bosso, a better unima. Now, Obano, oh, you're right to the bearman. Now, if he's a bearman, yes or no better.
Uncle, just because people say I'm married doesn't mean they're doing marriage the way it's supposed to be done. Let me explain. Again, marriage, a successful marriage, a good marriage is where the man loves his wife, the woman submits to the husband. If that too is not happening, whatever you're doing, it's not marriage. They need to find another word to define what you're doing, but you're not doing marriage. Because for you to have a successful marriage, for marriage to work, that is the principle. And so once you're skipping the principle and you're not doing it that way, it's like, and then I give you directions to my house. And I tell you, this is the only way you can come to my house. There's no other route to my house than this way. Then you tell me, oh, no, I'm not gonna use this route. I'm gonna find another route. And then I tell you, well, if you find another route, you're not coming to my house. You're going somewhere else. I don't know where you're going, but you're not coming to see me. It's the same thing. Uncle, for you to have a successful, healthy, balanced, happy married life, those things has to be fundamental. Man, love your wife. Woman, submit. Once that fundamental law is thrown out, whatever they're doing, it's not marriage. They're doing something else. They need to find another word to determine what they're doing.
All right, I'm coming. I don't know more share me no. Maybe I'm will be as a Facebook or say YouTube or say a website. Maybe I will be no. Obeti me. I do what number specifically. Ewo home number no na me dia to dwa na 774 2430841. But open say you do ba life for so na me train another resource person be but for say why tight kakra. Now open say you do ba life now joining program. Obetimi asend me hi. O send me hi me the link be ma no I join a video. Binum ka some person ba life. So meaning say I don't know. What the link in the movie have in almost a class and for I don't know why. Meaning I say I don't understand if you ferrying or ferry you said yeah you.
What I would say is
and I dream in person me bought audio na you did the pray. But obetimi the audio a prayer and as always the link over some the link mawa na with the link ba na you so adventure was as no. As a result of that, no. But as a result of that, no, on any woman, or more at 7 years. The man say, oh, Jawa ban. But your high no send me bring me one number now, me dear go on or call WhatsApp at 774-2420841. Or send me higher me the paper. On any woman, on any war personal name be or more. But so banner skipping now, I didn't hear me see, no. On says, I wouldn't be ya, dear, not or the near me see ya. Number warrior, on say dangerous.
See, first of all, that's not a basis for divorce, but okay, if he wants to divorce,
I didn't know any basis for
that's
divorce.
His problem. Uncle, okay, that's
why is
again,
it no basis?
That's what I'm telling you. Maybe you have to see. I will always come from the point of my Christian principles because that's what I know. And so that's where my understanding comes from. And so I understand a Christian marriage. And I understand that when you're doing a Christian marriage, the things that we're talking about, there's no grounds for that. We don't see stuff like that when you're doing marriage the way God has ordained it to be done. Because again, God himself instituted marriage. It's not a human thing. Man did not put marriage together. So if you're doing it the way God wants it to be done, you're not going to be having these issues. You understand? And so I'm always going to come from that aspect. So maybe you have to get another person who's like a neutral person.
More audio is here. It's here, right? Okay. Now, yenti ni pano so viewer or the braces here na yenti.
The same. Me chiao ne wetie fo nyina na anumrei love wasem na mo ka ni cheating asem woni me ka chire no okay
my mom.
Oh, it's your mom.
Me dey hang say Africa mema especially Ghanaians so omu enyampra ewo omu outside omu awari mu omo ya momo ye ni mu hu ese nti no mo enya obi ana se omo twentena se wonu ku wo ho na wasisa na o twentena pe hu omo behavior ma hu but mentimi hu abrofo no omo be omo momo ye ni mu suspect bibia omo ye ni mu hu so omo ye bibisa adenti na ye mema no Ghana for mema na Africa for mema no mu nhia sa na eno so just ma we hu say nti no o twempra na nti na ye den afen so many bi edue ya hu bo papa oba wo kunu a o san twempra de ye serious party says on your kind a serious party me say me ba na kan say ma de nye eyi moja na nam ye omo veins mu ana na yesu ana no yeah man ya mo ya sa se ye twempra o e be ma djuma no ma de ye nka ho say no mano chimpra pa che mema no e wo mo awarie mu enu nti no bibi sa e koso wo bi awarie mu na e serious pa say ready say oma awarie bia nye dede na cheating no eso ntwa na say am bi say o mu mienu ma emu dia na wo yira nti no mu ka ware say mu adagri enu you know this awari mo nsɛm ahe na mudi mu a mo ka awari asɛm adagri anyway me mamu ayi ko ne nneɛma papa mo yɛ na adagri bye bye.
Yeah, that's it. Over me na I can't say my ho awo so sad. So what is say my me dey to just say.
But you see but still on what my mom was saying is that African men are no more cheating. Not to say that she's encouraging you people to cheat, but like I said earlier on, that once he cheats, the disrespect is already lost. But uncle, once you do that and you make the woman see that that's what you're doing, then that's not good. You know, there are men who go to whatever length to make sure that the wife doesn't find out that that's what he's doing, because what you don't know doesn't hurt you. If we're married and that's what you're doing and I don't know, how am I going to get hurt by something I don't know? But when I get to know, then that's where it affects my response to you. And so then I can disrespect you, I can dishonor you, I won't submit, because what you're doing, because again, you've broken that fundamental rule. Love your wife.
You don't have right to do that.
Of course, I agree with her. Of course, I'm at no point am I saying that a woman needs to cheat because your husband is cheating. That's stupidity. You know, you don't have to do that. Don't compromise yourself because he's doing that. Because a woman, like I said, we're receivers. So how many men can you sleep with? So because he's cheating, you're going to go sleep with this man and then sleep with another man. That's you compromising yourself. You understand? So you don't have to compromise yourself to hurt your husband because he's cheating. You understand? But the thing is, uncle, another reason why I think I start moving just a little bit away from this cheating as seminal. Another thing I feel that it affects marriage and makes marriages not to work. No, a lot of people have very unrealistic expectations when they come into marriage. What do I mean by that? You have to hold yourself accountable to what the same principles that you hold me accountable. You understand? Because you don't compare where you don't compete. Say, hey, uncle, you expect me like okay, let me use myself as an example. Me say, okay, I want a billionaire. I want to marry a billionaire, right? I want to marry a man who's educated. I want a man who's handsome, who's tall, who has 6 packs and all that, you know, nonsense that a lot of women talk about, which is not nonsense, but it's not realistic. First of all, are you a billionaire? Do you have a degree? You, the woman that you're saying these are all the things that you want, because again, you have to hold yourself accountable to the same principles and the same standard you're holding the other person. Don't come in with an unrealistic expectations. If you don't have a degree, what makes you think the man who has a degree is not looking for a woman who has a degree? How are you asking for something that you don't have? That's an unrealistic expectation. You can only compare where you compete. So if I'm a graduate, if I'm making 6 figures, if I'm, you know, I have a very solid job, if I'm doing all this, then I am in a position to ask for the same because I want a man who can match my hustle. I'm bringing the same thing to the table that I'm holding the other person accountable to. Does that make sense?
All right, Mientie audio, yes. Thank you. I say, oh my meeting, why very quiet. Me who's the missing describe or no? Maybe Yankona Yenti audio way na Yenti among force views, said the ebinum so ADST. We are said the adventure back for Yeti among force views. So far, said the ebinum so ADST. And here, quackity audio way so. Na yahwɛ deɛ ɛrekɔ nti dwumadie no mene na naabena ɛna te so na nyɛ na ase na naabena na sɛ ɔso na naabena obi busa wodi obi busa wodi okay yɛkɔ adeɛ kɔtie
I hope sɛ biribiara yɛ okay ne wɔtiefo nyinaa nyame nhyira wo biribiara Na me show way be na wo ka wo mu setwe Jonas. Say
no say me pacho. Hey.
America. There 12 good years. In church, maybe 12 years. Manche. Kakra. Na me di meni ehu eban aware mu abotra. Eyinsem bebre. We have Mexicans, Asians, Arabs free. Now they compare Africa for IS Africans. There is always misunderstanding. A first count any Japati home.
But no train, Mamma, fat we Merasoka crab in my menu to say.
Now we are the one afraid.
Yo, about your didn't say now for him.
My name is Nana Kwame. I'm calling from Ghana.
Yeah, although Timika Ghana can say, yeah.
Nana Kwame, you could have put on a shirt before coming on.
Nana Kwame, Konako put two on shirt, brother. Konako put two on shirt, nebra. Why? Thank you very much. Young Kona, audio.
Ara former and member warrior. I will be a homomatia. Mexicans, for instance, were the same thing. Filipinos, the same thing. Russians, the same thing. But so by young Africans, acquires a Japan a competition. Oba no person ye Japan no or training kunis on Poyobra Obano, which might say. Especially so ban when ye Juma and a Juman to change the piece to see you compare as much of a man. Obono co because if you're no a piece so into a contribution will contribute more than Nikon.
All right, yeah, but to us so maybe my member you no join it. Up here to say yeah, that was so I respect you near Bana some kind, right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
A gentleman, nice gentleman.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my person may come be a what the lady is saying, you know. Yeah, or casting me, and then that motivated me to join the show. You see, I'm very happy when you bring people like this to talk on your program. Marriage now or can't like what she was saying. Is something it is not human. So the moment you go contrary to what the person who brought the thing, then you are worsening the situation for yourself. That is like Obi technofo ayo phone and that's Obi idea. You can't compare manual na technofo the phone to the Apple iPhone phone so the phone. They are two separate products. So now marriage is a product from God. And then what he has said is final. You can go about in your own way and you will regret it later. So what she said is that women, be submissive. Husband, love your wife. You see, the husband...
So put your mommy 1 second. Remember what was share. I will say, maybe mommy share different opinion. Idea be a nice idea. You know, be catch a branch is on Kosha Ataro also. A branch in the boom food. A Kosha Ataro in the camera, Ediaba. Obiso Tinchen, baby. Also, said Daniel Kusis say, see how she instructed the guy to wear a shirt in commanding tone. Almost as a band so one funny serious. And Obano so the casa no casa. On commanding, but also Bia was said was your view.
Yeah.
What always said the situation is it here? What's the ATO?
Oh, let me chip in real quick here. I'm sorry, sir. So maybe if I said it in a commanding tone, I apologize. I'm sorry, that wasn't the intention, and so let me apologize to that viewer that found offense to the way I said it. Forgive me, sir, if you're watching. I'm sorry.
Wow. See, ABNM, submissive and respectful. What was it? Oh, David, because almost said it was it. Make rather come me defend them. So also I'm my first here. Cause me.
That felt like I was saying, or say, husbands, love your wife. then the woman should be submissive. It's a conditional statement. It's a conditional statement. I said that if my catcher will say, Oba Ghana, I'll give you $5,000. You get the $5,000 upon the condition that you come to Ghana. If you don't come to Ghana, you don't get the $5,000. So if you say, women, be submissive. So upon that submissiveness that you do, it is based on it that your husband will love you. And it's a the husband can never love you on that condition. So I love what the woman, your partner, other one, the lady was saying. Ekia was saying.
Yeah. And I'm sorry.
That said, let me also congratulate you on the good work that you are doing. You want to bring people like this, you see, to talk on
and
matters
now,
like this.
before you do the congratulations, see the gentleman again, Daniel Kusiapia. I say I admire her response. Also, the Niaji say I wasn't the you.
No, that is it. Okay, first of all, I didn't take any offense of like the honor catcher and say go and put on. In fact, I forgot. I forgot myself. But you say yes, no, Obian how often asem. So what I say, that is it. Obian in the background. So one first idea and show that you are meeting people from diverse backgrounds. So as Obian how your children not different. If you are near being so mami muchi aseno, which you are do. So who you know now who's all mommy kitchen co contain see wa who could be your brother for so di cook that wasn't if I couldn't who you so always you program your mind. That is one thing that I learned and it has helped me. Maybe, for example, if you are driving, you see any driver coming as a mad person, so just be careful and move on. Because you don't know what the background or but be prepared to take it.
Defensive driving, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
But before you go, let me ask you this question. Okay. I just want your opinion on this issue. Yeah, when they were hearing a TV, more America, more ma 7 good years. Obana quite Juma, or Juma, or one now call say, Obani near bar frail, say. A diner Obani Sino paint and say why ready so we painted dino. The old plaster and say we carpenter means so yes Kagakro the Boston Tinka, then Sabacana this week, and next week. Commit maybe dining. Bearman Obana more money say we see dying Ghana. Entry what is as no Obeja Obana and Betina.
Let me Fred Bearman or Chawaria say on we in your divorce. If you really understand the concept of marriage, the basis are Yedija Obano, we encounter.
Well, are you truthful to you? Well, kind of crunch, though.
Yeah, one kind of crack, but encounter per the person no Yawari and buying on the manual encounter.
Okay.
But if you want to manual, but all feelings because Obi or the BBC would hear. I would say you're very serious. So when not why yeah, they have no more money. Ubisa no saying after all, no so yeah, they also we are dear.
You see, that is something that as a bearman who's not defended, but make us a winchow. Adibia Obey was as it will be our home. There is no way you can run away from the punishment. And then at the end Biano and started it started from somewhere. So as a man, you always do your background checks well. Also we are as a man. But so one shena ka say bia oba kusi dan baby. And also that is very reason mama baby akwo baby omo ye no mukra nim.
Okay.
Hey. Asem kasi o.
MP owu ye ewo I think man kesim ho baby.
I'm Robert Scott Takena.
Yeah, amode na ire no ekodi ekwo shena na wo parliament no. That MP no MP no. Ono wo takwa. Or you know what takwa ne maame penny nim ba no ba foforo so aware one girl no takwa no enes e wo ba
no sa ni police ni no o sa ni police ni so aware
yes In Sudan, they really nim that. They really nim. You see, it is so many people. You think you are doing something, also this year or bano. Or bano so that you this year. So this doesn't call for
Selfishness.
divorce. It doesn't call for
Selfishness.
divorce. It doesn't call for divorce. And come.
Utie Minia John Kwajo from Ponwa. Was it from your scenario that if the lady has insulted his husband intelligent, he should have told his husband he is the head of the house unless you negative mindset. Yeah, I was a man head of the house. So
Uncle, can I say something really quickly to that? Can I say something really quickly in response to this particular? So, like my brother was saying, everything it starts from somewhere, right? And so, okay, this lady went to build a house behind her husband. We only know that part, that aspect of the issue. We don't know the other aspect. The question is, was the lady the one playing? Was the lady the one wearing the men's pants in the house? Because then if she's the provider, then if she stepped within that capacity, then she makes the decisions. And so upon that authority, she can do whatever the heck she wants. You understand? So the thing is, in these days, the marriages that we're seeing, people are not playing their individual roles. Because when a man is being a man and the head of the house, there's a role that he plays. When the woman is being submissive and she's been the wife, there's a role that she plays. Everybody walks in their lane. But when those roles switch, that's when you have issues like this. And so the only thing we know is that the woman went to build behind her husband. The question is, who's wearing the pants? Who's the head of the house? Because if she's the head of the house, then she was acting within her capacity as the head of the house. And she did it because he doesn't want to wear the pants in the family, in the house, and she's wearing it, then she can do things and hide it behind her back. Already, this scenario tells me that already there's a trust issue in that marriage. Because if there's not a trust issue, why is she doing things that she feels she needs to hide from her husband? Something as huge as building a house, having property. But there's already trust issues. We only know just a fraction of the problems that are going on in that house. You understand? And so we cannot make a judgment based on just what we know. We can only make a verdict if we know exactly what's going on in that house. One, who's the head of the house? Who's wearing the pants in the house? Both people in the marriage, are they playing their individual roles? Everybody walking their lane? Or is the role switched? Because if it's switched, then obviously it's a dysfunctional marriage.
Roles switch.
If the roles are switched, it's a dysfunctional marriage. And when you have a dysfunctional marriage, you have dysfunctional things like this happening.
Let me add this to yours. You see, even the lady has been pulling the man, say, Masa, yenye bibi ofie. Yenye bibi ofie. Yenye bibi ofie. You see, the man will be dragging his feet. And maybe Obano, so she's working. And it's all year, Juma. She can build a house. What is your problem with that? The money is not for you. What is your problem with that? You see,
Frederick, what is the problem with that?
Hi, Frederick.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, because say enya usika no dey na say eyo no ani sika e no dey ya. I think you're fine. What I say, you're fine. Ebia waka me say my wife waka say yen si dan wo Ghana. Fitita ma wo Ghana ni nyina waka me kaje say me metna ha na me leave it say me ti akoko buomu say me to feel na me ko Ghana ko si edan a, then I'll be okay with it. Onwankasa buy and she saw things that how things work here, no. And you'll be crying a catcher and say what I was saying was right. It is a me my wife or a baby or Ghana. Because any misika. What I say? Or any contribution, me contribution. At the end of the day, say what to you want or the spare money no the baby BBA. What double no the AC ni daya. At long run, no media. And I'm SCNT as I say Ghana.
What's your contribution? Honestly, the contribution. Say.
I want to say sometimes warrior mutumi back into agreement. What I hear? Abrafo crowd to me sign contract to Oma warrior, no to me sign contract. Yeah. Of how to share bedding sharing. Abrochi omo ye enye something like BBI outside the box. Abrochi omo ye bedding sharing. It is omo to me bedding sharing na say Miami ma taking me part. Now so what take you part. Now was surplus and I say why you juma now say oh me ye extra dey akosi dan o ebia waka manti. And a long run long short no say we see na say what to me I be all this year me na later wa catch him because e be all him say o kan mebu na bemu because remember be omo encourage women because osuro say one say oba ni ye enyas eye juma crashing na osuro say oba ni be making more money than him oba looking like say on one money which is myopic thinking.
It doesn't jealousy be
because
it's insecurity.
Because of Messi Ayatiti as black people, as Ghanaians, entity from childhood. Oh, obi on the year cry economy crap na osro. Me, I don't care. What I said, make up my wife about grofo be catch me say, e ma me mfa ne mba na oba de o de ne ba ha oba be yesi. But I told them say yo, me minim lady na sana me ba America. Me ne na tna sana e ba ha. Enya afia sama be gina ha na me dan me chairman because I knew her, I understood her, where she's coming from and her mindset.
So question na renti na oba wonim ne dada wonim said you sit here. Na wo kofa na free Ghana aba. Wo ko nsu ho kira amamfo bu abam.
One said sometimes and come out to me the in Semoba. What I say? Satan me nin krata. Me try first one and go through. What I say? Me try now and go through. No? I was looking at the point say I made it now and go through. Ebia me nya obi no be amana. I'll rather spend for her to come and maybe I'll get it from her. What I say? It me scenario ni in a way say sanko si ebeko si because say one dream sometimes o dream papa no adream boni because me try na anko ama me no ebia me ka say me twen a I would rather waste more time. What I say? And then when I was here no anytime I was talking to her and I mean in common I made her know my pain the pains I'm going through here. I made her understood me from the onset. It oba no ye bibia she me and as no kasa buy no who Messi ahatie no or realize he said no what I was saying was right because my wife say okaje me say me went to me boss na me nya me bibia na me be fan and I me explain it and say 50-50 metumi atna for long time me say manya lack no dey bia no nya lack no luckily for her so ye din common within a short time and I mean nya ade ni bi pa and I me dey buy but obai no be who Messi situation ni mutie she understood me from the get go MIA stay e will be na me stay no for some time and preparation and moving on further. It's all about communication, understanding because men can say you're married now 100%. We had a lot of issues, right? But in a way, we try to solve it up. Yeah, we solve it around ourselves. What I say? Because last time, me elder was so I didn't come up with ana bibi ko to me chip in something. No say, wow, by your boss sorry, it doesn't look like na ye konto kwa krapo na show. Yeah, because we had prepared our minds. What I say? Sometimes you know, obia entin to say, ye nyina ye free different homes. We have different views over things. Ebia, oye santini. Ebia me fantini, and I say, yeah, free different. But at the end of the day, no, one, communication. Two, understanding the person you are dealing with. Because obia me study adebi o me yere ho. Me hu mesia oye ne niama fa no. That's where me hu the weak point. It is adebi wo na me pese me convincing no onji me de ni ntumu a. Me use ade no towards that because that's my selling point.
Everybody
Everybody have to.
Frederick comment and
Yes.
person go too deep or on. But my member na kuya so what the okra manya no a good resource person. Na kuya yen share ade. Yen nuano ma mo abruchire kama. Just abruchire baby am wo bia fine. Problem e koso wo aware bebrebe na mema ni be complaining no. Eye e man ye nam for sep. And for bema timi tu no for so. Asim bi wa woni men discuss so ba timi na adam for bi kra discuss asem no. Then the kunu kra no mfi no. When adam for na adwene na offer. Enti na adam for ne ka kire so onye so na ne kunu su kase ya e ma asomdwe e mafie ho. The problems we bra koso aware mu abrochire nyina no. Either oba na adam for ne tu no for ma be hu one ne kunu kra ya aka na one ne kunu jaye. Enti adenti na dru ba bia mema e ka kire ma se bia ade we ba bia wo kɔ no party kɔ bebrebe na nya we say na fo se bebrebe nya wo ka ma ne say o control wo mo wo ho asem kana na kwa.
Okay. Before me answer that, let me just make like a very quick statement to just like kind of correct a statement that was made. I think this fine gentleman here and then my brother from before also made that statement, but I want to like rectify that so you know people have understanding. When you talk about marriage, if you want marriage the way it's designed, originally intended and designed, then again you have to follow the principles. Love your wife, submit to your husband. Marriage, when we start saying that, oh, eya misika, then that means already, you've already broken that fundamental law. Because for this purpose, a man leaves his father and his mother and cleaves to his wife, they become one. There's no me and you, we become one. The one there means that it's an individual body that we become. So me and you are one, like this. It's not you, it's not me. So in that terms, you don't have your money, I don't have my money. It's our money. And so if it's our money, then we use it our way. You don't get to say that it's my money, so I'm going to go do what I want to do and not tell you. No. If you're going to go by that term, then don't have an issue when she does something and she doesn't tell you, or when he does something and he doesn't tell you. You can't have your cake and eat it, if that makes sense. You have to understand that it's a unity. You know, it's oneness. It's not an individuality anymore. When you make that when you cross that threshold and say we're husband and wife, me is gone. Us is what it is. The word me is out of the picture. It's an us issue. So you don't get to say, oh, when it comes to, maybe this responsibility is us. But then when it comes to money, is I and you. You don't get to pick which part of the marriage that you want to submit to, which part of the marriage that you don't want to submit to. If you're going to do marriage the way it needs to be done, then you do it holistically, all of it. You don't get to pick parts and pieces of it. So let's just correct that aspect, that it's not my money, it's not your money, it's our money. So in that retrospect, she had to tell her husband that okay, that's fine. Go and tell him, I've told you about this, you don't want to do it, so if you're not going to do it, I'm going to go do it myself. Tell him so that he knows. Because like you said, maybe you have a joint account, but then maybe you have some money on the side that you're saving for whatever reason. You understand? So you're saving some money on the side, and tell him, I'm going to use this money I'm saving on the side to do my project, because I don't understand why you don't want us to do it, but I want us to be able to have something back home. So I'm going to go do this. You understand? But do not hide things. Don't keep it on the wraps, because what do you have to hide? You're in a marriage. It's a unity. It's a two-way street. when you start acting like it's just me in the marriage and you get me results, and then you're complaining, oh, it's not going the way I want it to go. How is it going to go the way you want it to go when you're doing things on your own and not telling the other person? You didn't marry yourself. You're not the only one in the marriage. It's a two-way street. So I guess the problem, a lot of it stems from people coming into marriage and still having that me ideology and that me concept. That's why I said from the beginning, there's way too many selfish people in marriage. If you're a selfish person, please stay by yourself. Please don't get married and give people pressure. Just stay by your pacho. Oh, you're selfish.
Yeah.
Stay by yourself and do Netflix and chill. Don't go into marriage and be giving other people's children a heart attack. Like, what's all that? Stay by yourself. To yourself, be true. So now coming to the question that you asked.
All right, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
You said, and can you go over the question again?
More audio me. Why?
Okay, yeah, play the audio.
More audio me.
Good evening. Idea back what me who say. And Fred, a man is shasiam panatria is such it in the hunim fasona. No man swassa. No ma for my dream. Oba on can shall say be a saying a woo yenti giant. Ebia wakan wa bread. Ubu one said that the Fred no so wafan of dream. Because he cannot acquire one thing. Into any meso may shall boy japadia go. Because he see a man who say, it be a big bow, hono. Ufafa ma. And only problem no. That the Fred, oh baby, anywa or qua worry ma. Na drain say, make quiet me dear, and mammy kunswa ye me dear da be. Nancy sayane bem na ye who says he can't one thing. You have no option. And no one is over the foul wandering because who won't call because what's so yeah, Jumanti that one sabesi from na girlfriends in Kwana or Mobedis Gano. That be that the Fred, Ebia Oba, who's so tall wig in Ebia you. And so Bema Betiska, I got a wig at Kessia, my girlfriends. Now what did you your bills did me Adrian any more in the muddy? Daddy. In some way, dear, ya na a mood dog, and your bema subine and a bema bar as a son. No crano na make a chono. Maybe we're home on Casao. Not your most wet, no, that the Fred and Yassam get one. Munina menya juma bye.
Bye, or sit man, subine and a man as a son. Interesting. Yankwana Yankuchi in Yabaso from UK.
Hello, Daddy Fred. Good evening. Sherry near. Na program ni na community will say a man ni bi owa no owa. Na say and son of the best son on nebia bemano. Uchiti dear, send a lady ne can not respect no. A cockra. Nti also can say what down for being in a year Japadia Nikunu enya away. Mikun de me Barbary for 32 years ni. Since day one, me buy ya savior buma to date. Ya when your company juma boom. Japadia biara ya since I'm 32 years. Minimi kuno na ya boom. The anti America san so who be mani subayansa. Me kuno you bi o yesisifu. When nya be masa na nya be mo yesisifu a. Ehwa na man niti was me koye me die. Nya be ma peso ware o maami o ya we. Oh me maami ya mani o ledi ya mfase nko. Ono so maame ye mani no ye mfase nko. Nya be masa dia. Oni ni ye bibia bomu a enya ya. Na minu me ho da se 32 years ni ya ye bibia bom till date. Ti dia ya nema emme ni bi ene esesa no Ebia, remember ni bisuban. Ebia misuse ska. Ana ebia na obehu na oye ni basa bi wa Ghana. And the emani hua no ma form ho adwen. Me da se papa.
That's it. Ay, nipa mienu na kasa asem we ato aso. Mame mo we so, mame mo o ma me de so nto aso.
Daddy Fred. Masamba game vasti mami. Oh
my God.
Sanya yenwa be man na ye ba ne kan ye no. Obema ni right so be divorce ne yire no. Because first marriages no. And omu di omu sika bom. And then omu nye sabium. And then oba ne di ni sika sie, obema di ni sika sie because omu show omu family. And until way divorce vie him. Well, divorce vie him. And then a man omu ye niema bebre, omu show omu maame nom na omu papa nom. Enya afe na obegyina wani ma bisa ni sika. Enti no ni sika no de ode hwe ne nabusuafo be ma ne nso saa. And na marriages bebre no nso no oba no e provide aduane and obe ma no etua rent. Ti saa no mu nyina mu sika ye busy. Ti wonti mi so sini dan ne wa anka nkyerɛ ne watia. Ebia na wo ankasa wonni anokware bi nkyerɛ no. Sa anokware wa aware animu a ɔbɛka kyerɛ so osi dan. But ebia na anokware ni aware ni. Ti we de divorce asɛm bi ehu. Because wo be ma no sika nyira ya, nya osika na ɔba ne di si dan no. Ɛno nti so osi dan ne na ɔde asie wo na wahu a. We aware gya ye bi anim. First no na omu yes adi omu sika bom ene ye nye sabi tini mesrɛw obema no ebia no onka oni oye lazy onka no kware nso saa no me kun no wa me ye bibi a me mo wa mane because me hu sɛ ye no bobre nye ye o ye lazy tini oba no ye si dan ye right so si dan obema no nso ko si ne die we divorce bi ani bye
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Also say a man on the man no. Wow.
This is interesting. I'm
interested.
Your friend is Sarkodie, Mikasefi, Canada. Now, we discussing concerning marriage. We are interested.
The virtual dear old friend or every Massachusetts or my friend, my wife.
Who crew any movie. And a branch and any Ababa and Cassette. It looked like said there's nothing wrong with this. One year Sikana. So the buyer extra baby. There's nothing wrong with it. In our room, said the guy named institution na Bible society. Or say mube boma muye nipa baako. There is nothing like me sikani and our way sikani. Sikana mubenano. Some person mo kosi fi organa mo decide na mercy. Se o catch that way and now ukunu no person obey there. Na person make him move. Still, there is all genuine concern. Because a bit of the misunderstanding bebre ayede aba. Madam for be over US. Nini ko share organa na me kwa ye wedding. Madam for no the chia na yere mame. Yere mame your tu no fio na yere mame ka say, oh, aso we the minimum some ba. Ni ebusa say na busuafo nyina we na also oyere ketu anu do mo komoda no. Nti mame friend kwala bi no mo fa mo ko. Ti ya ko ye no. Ani kokohu say oba ni si dan ba be ma ni. Bema titi of the more remote or buyer connection school away. Now, obey be crana, Kakachen. And I one can't now cocoa yes I did. But Bema is a buy and when we sat because if we said and the idea so one carried and Kakachen. One come say. But them who any said, our real do a honor. Say if you bear myself your bar. A big family. And a bear man is to me and I do theatre no so. In Chacosia, the basic
na that bi ojawa wanya baby do to Kwajo, a man, a buy where I was wearing them in the engineering deal. Into Kawachi, Ebesi would die, and that's it. What I say, there is nothing like that. We are together. The beer more person will be a some your boom. And says so be do BBC. What I say. Inti story I make a Bema and Cafe, I no man who did on any that or you be a duma. Now, my men are gonna go to her. I saw him penny for Pentecost, some mechanic on a fumunuko. Inti see if he said, oh, yeah, Uncle Patch yourself, my patch your man. What I say. Now, a banisa, now, quite said, Nipana and Nam, me three myself.
Very good. Very good.
A bit my DB, as you, Musunoni,
no.
Intino. And now, dear say, so, and yet. See, back one and carry home as a back home. More beer for me, see, beer. You be a war about baby, or there or baby, who sit down baby, ain't done it. Tell a bear transparency, may take you control. The man was here.
Uncle, before you play another way, Mami, come in very quickly. I think we're losing focus on the fact that marriage, you chose this person. Nobody put a gun on your head to marry this person. You chose this person. Nipa bebre now so okay. When I'm a person, I want to make life with. You chose this person. So if you choose someone who's a dishonest person, who is a cheat, who is not loving, what does that say about your own personal character? Because that's the person that you attracted. That's the person you chose. I didn't force you to marry that person. Nobody forced you to. Your mother didn't force you. Your uncle didn't force you. This is the person that by your own choice, you chose to be. And then now you want to come and tell us, oh, my husband is this, my wife is that, my wife is that. But that's the person you chose. That's the person you chose.
Apart from
choose
that,
it for you.
The Bapane Canas, the same scenario na Bapane Kai. So I share Obana nursing training. Or to Quine call Ghana, or Kodru Ghana. No, Kohun saw Obana Sida. One just all kind.
But that's the same thing. That's the same thing, yeah, Kano, uncle. This is a woman that he chose. This is a person that he chose. Like we said, we've been saying this from the beginning. Again, it's been very repetitive. There are too many selfish people going into marriages. If you're not ready to do marriage as a union between two people, stay by yourself. Because there's no reason. Dentia ubeko awariamu uncle. Uni nipa no say I do. You take the vows. You already. That means from the get-go, no, a lot of people don't understand marriage. They go into marriage as an individual person. Say, okay, the concept or the common. Oh, me common in my yamadia no na yanadia. Na fe do cheatia because still be a yanadio. Into so cheatia. I say a who kwanswa no. Oh yanadia was so yawadie. But when you go into the marriage with the mindset that this is a two-way street. This is a communion and a commitment between two people. That we are meeting a need that God has. That marriage is a purpose. And so we are going in to fulfill a purpose that is bigger than the two of us. That meets a need that God himself has. And because of that need, he's put us together. Then your whole attitude, your whole concept, your whole ideology, your whole ideology is all changed. So you already have an understanding of what you're committed to. But people go into marriage like, oh, because he gives me butterflies in my stomach. That's not a condition for marriage. You don't go into marriage because you have butterflies. Now, what happens when the butterflies stop coming? So what I say, people are going into marriages for the wrong ideas. And so we are sitting here discussing all these problems because the foundation was already destroyed. Right now, what we need to do is say, I'm not from now, I'm from Okawedo. They're already in the marriage. They've already made the wrong choice from the beginning. The foundation was already destroyed, right? So we have to find a way to salvage whatever is left of that marriage. But the people that we can really help are this thing that you're going into, it's not just the concept of, oh, like, he's my husband. No. It goes beyond that. Marriage is not something that you go into and you come back. It's not a door that you go and then you open and then you come back and close it. No. Marriage is something you go in, you lock it, you throw away the key. There's no coming back. We are doing this for life until Christ comes. The two of us are inside it for good, for bad. We are in it together. Once you have that mindset, I'll tell you marriage will work, because everything you do will make it to work. You don't get to say that, oh, Wakami, with Timmy, I want divorce. No. Those are not bases. The only time I'll bet I'm walking away and he say, yeah, he's abusive, or maybe he's a murderer. But even that, no, you chose this person. That means you yourself, you don't have a good judgment of character.
All right,
all these people we are talking about,
so
they chose each other.
Yeah, that is right. My name is Sister Nia Dream, about 90%.
10% in the Senate.
And when Musa say, sometimes no, imagine characters. Two different characters and a image, right? Sometime no, obi woha, and asama yekai won is deep rooted in our culture. It's a big problem because obi kawaria, you see, unya sika fabrefie, no unya asema fako okunfie. You see, san nyoman kitin we na yakika Ghana say a free politics, echo film, echo ye jumem, any san nyoman nyina, san sem kitin, a jumana yo papa dia. And some yakika to ye team no, ena ama a deep rooty. I say ye country no in so many ways. Yedi etu kwan kra aba yen to me en so ade na no yenya grip e wa ade na no eso obi ehun se ebia miswa no mi di fried rice and chicken ebia my wife wanya sa ndi what ma say ebia miswa no dia my wife nya di en mi ma nya ne sa two ideology and eba together. So when that friction comes in, and Nyakupon Kranyan say mo say Oma Sam Adebia a symbol ebetumi ama emerging we say no because Obema bia wo ego. Obema bia wo ego. Enti say edu sad time no na say Obema na reducing the kakra na oba ne so reducing the kakra pe na friction about our renim ohona start say ebubo poba na ebubo poba enti no say mubopo na ma say mwankasa mo ntumi ansane a ena people wo ho a they quickly rush into judgment no akoka che na danfo no akasia asema any kwan so onka no na oka enti na bedru brabi no because the more you have a conversation, the more you end up talking more. And so when you're the right person at the right time for you, or better me say me tna bass me na Ghana for me for me no biti mechi won. And someone no more can bass me I was shocked.
What so TB?
Miti ade say miti no onim say me Ghana ni no more come like they were open in the bars talking. Miti omani na muti mechi. And I say na lady no mami penin catch young lady no I was
saying at least less than be see
catch they say hey I'm American no aba no ma weni nti ukru no to say on prabi organ like she was just telling her things make to my knowledge in me to say enyama bi wa one ebia eyentro or body team na aka what I say because nkofo bebre tietie nkofo anu a ebia asem na ono ka kire no no mfe mu bida obi ka asem a kire wa here say yemfa nya asem obi experience say that the friend so ka wa asem kire me and my sister come na asem kire me a say me ko explain na kire the next person na ensem o kan no I will choose different words and different words means different things. What I say ebia obeka asem bi a kire me but me di coding komo a kire wo that the friend no ma twist no and I say ma ka bibi e di ahye ho also odu ona wo catch the next person na afi na asem na wo waka no na afi ne ekodane bibi fufuro what ma say enti no se yemienu na ye ti dan ni mu no se yenya issues na yanka se yan find ways and means ne yan solve it. Na se ye kan ne o dia obema ne de ne de ekọ ne namfo anaso de akọ na busuafo na oba ne so de ne de ekọ ne namfo ma na busuafo a ubon se sesi ano mu mienu no mo asema be third party abem fourth party abem fifth party abem sixth party abem enti ho na breakups ne ba no
jina so ho na okay say me to question bi na akua say me repeat the question bi
yeah
question me to ye ne say obi ene ne yereti and only ne kunuti omote peacefully problem bi ani oba ne sha ase na mfosem sorry we na okọ party okọ ha bo se birthday bi no gina mu ha okọ adwuma mu na mfosem me can be si baby so na akua say wa na choose ndi bi ase oba no ye good unim so obese say ne wa wasem but obehu say oba bi na be maybe oba man be in particular and now to say do stage be am kru num to am for say namfo a ode ho bo me chai na be create problems about 90% many statistics there but the minimal canon me amina analysis me
It's not 90%.
evidence many evidence we have to support the
That's
claim.
Too big of a number.
Yeah, anti-medical I me allegations be a matter about 90% information be a men's can't say baby because of move baby see na for some man so you are control you too much control ade abroche do be ade no why control it remember also Frederick na we control
but who said to say now Frederick Kano third party, fourth party, fifth party, sixth party, that's what you're talking about because again once the foundation is broken, love your wife, submit your husband, because obviously this is a woman who's not submitted to her husband. Because if you're submitted to your husband, and then it takes me back again to my original point, do not marry a man that you do not respect. If you're dating that man and you don't respect him, there's no need in marrying him. You have been very difficult to submit to that man because clearly she's not submitted to the man. What submit here? Because she'll be able to read her husband's body language. Say, because when you start to do it, who said the man starts to the body language is so what I said, that's a woman that's in tune to the needs of her husband, to her husband, his feelings and the way he is and his that's a woman who's in tune to that aspect of her husband. So what I say, she's not just there and not bothered by anything. She's putting work into her relationship. Because then you say, oh husband, but catch up. Once or catch her when one okay, me ramate. Because at the end of the day, and then also maybe you feel like, okay, maybe this person is a friend, right? And so you feel say, yeah, what's our friendship anymore? Yes. That the kind of relationship you have with that friend. Go to your husband and say, oh, okay, Mira, I understand. Say, yeah, madam for one penasem, but why do you feel like it be our own penasem? And then when will be me who ya now? Because at the end of the day, can two walk unless they agree? If you're not in agreement, everything is a mess. You understand? Because you might feel a certain way about my friend, but then I'm like, okay, well, she's my friend. I mean, we probably might have been friends before I even met you, but even if we just made friends, she's my friend. I like her. So why do you feel like, you don't want me to be friends with her? Give me some, whatever it is that you've seen. You understand? And then we'll come to the conclusion when you talk to your wife and then you say, based on this and this and that, I don't like this friendship.
But who
and
can say
about it?
Or who can say on pen now for some? So you have to listen to him right away.
No. But that's it. It's and on pet and down for some. That's not what we're talking about. And down for some, maybe I'll yen down for baby. That's a different thing. But if my husband is saying that,
for some, me man, me call by narrow no stress. Problem say cause be brain. You are not down for way or no. Or then the program way in the program way. or then you could suicide more. Yes, or then Adam for now.
Yeah, that different. What make it time about wife?
Problem. My Nanapian, we create problems. Ever will be a one Adam for back. And so, or no tino, Bearman and Nigerian terminal problems, they chat them. Meaning, so think I've been
but Uncle, see, the reason why there's a friction here about friend, say, you are being a dictator at this point. When you just say, oh, me pardon for 17, no, I don't for wage, I know. No, I'm a grown woman. you don't treat me like I'm a little girl. You understand? I'm not your daughter, I'm your wife. I'm your partner. And so you don't just dictate to me like, oh, sit here, do this. No, do that. You don't do that. You understand? There's a way. That's why I told you. It's all about. It's not about what you're saying. It's about how you're saying it. So what you say? Because one thing can have two different meanings. The same thing, the same discussion, but it will have two different meanings. To a gentleman ne can say on persenya me catch a gentleman ne say on kona on koshe atarieno. What I say? To someone, I said it was absolutely normal, but then another person took it a different way. You understand? So the problem is the way you're seeing the problem. So what? You don't want to be a dictator in a relationship. Yes, you're the husband, you're my head. But at the end of the day, we are partners. So what is a partnership relationship? It's where we talk and discuss about things. Just the way we talk about money, we talk about finances. You don't like my friend, you pull me down, you say, honey, this and this is the reason why I don't feel comfortable with your friend. So please, for us to have peace, and harmony in our house, do you mind not being friends with her? See, that same thing that you were saying, don't be friends with that girl. So there's a difference between don't be friends with that person. I don't like that. And honey, do you mind, for the sake of us, our union and our peace and stability, I don't want you to, I'm not comfortable around that person. It's the same message, but it's two different ways it's been communicated. So the woman is much more likely to submit to you based on the way you came to her and say that, okay, because of this, that my husband say, because it's not worth me losing my marriage for that friendship. But a lot of men just come and want to dictate to the woman, like, no, I'm not your daughter. I'm not your daughter. I'm your wife. I'm your partner. And so in any partnership relationship, there's an agreement, there's discussion. When you treat me as if I'm beneath you, that's when we have friction. When you treat me as if, we are in partnership, that's when there's an agreement. So you see, it's the way that person is talking and telling, coming to their wife. Don't treat her like you're dictating to her. This is not China, a communist country. The marriage is it's not communist. Like, come on now. You got to be careful the way you're communicating.
Control about it.
Exactly, because it's not what you're saying. It's how you're saying it. Treat the woman as your partner. Don't treat her as if, you're a dictator and it's some sort of communist party thing that we're doing. No, don't treat her like that. Don't treat her like she's beneath you. Don't throw orders at her like your child that you're ordering around. No, that's not what I'm there for. I'm your partner. So you have to give me that respect. If you want me to submit to you, again, love your wife. When you love someone, you respect them. And when you respect me, you give me reasons why this and this is not right. You don't just tell me do this. No, it's when you don't respect someone, that's when you just throw command at them. But when you respect someone, you respect their intelligence. And so you come to them and you talk to them like a grown person, like the way you would want them to come to you and talk to you. There's an issue. You understand? If you respect me, you call me on the phone and you say, oh, my dear, the next time, if you don't respect me, you just cut me off. Like me front crowd, like because you don't have to respect me.
Jerry's TV or cry for her New York Bronx or share or say enjoy program no Jerry's TV that was a pass so New York and Kenny. Frederick, what you say, man?
That is first. That Fred, the Mrs. Stanekano, or 100% right in that order. Or very, very 100% right. One, una ushia ni pano, and our no. See, a who offend out the koya. Uko marriage no my best say right there. Say a unfair or do any bibia account out the koya. You try every ways and means to make it succeed. What I say, you make it succeed. And yes, I be room near same P. That's not how marriage is is even arranged. Say forever and ever till death do us part. It is a till death do us part there. Me na me choose you. So yeah, me yere. And I also watch him as say me wuku. A understanding and a bar ho because understanding and bar me can na ka wan pene a me to me a movie forward to the extent say me worry upo. It is a to me every point A about point B. I don't think to me call point C together.
Exactly.
Because na me say open no mama ni ho, o papa ni ho, o busua pani ni ho, o friends ni ho, o we ni ho. Say me wadanfo na o mpe madanfo na asema. Anase who wadanfo na me mpe wadanfo no the way of behavior. Bia one, me who behavior bi ono, anase me who science bi ono a me mpe. But me to me enkan choose wadanfo e ma o. Ade abetumi aye ni say, meka say ebia what mame wadanfo we die enyoma bi wo ha ya ebia mesi ameka no menka say ene ne enye we so se oba do ni kunu na se ohun se ni kunu empe bibia onye da onye da and not necessarily say oh man one and as o ka je say anyway and dia grow and as anyway nko we say oto ase pa upa ka chen say oh mama wadanfo we die sometimes ni nyoma bi oye die we bi oba na nkasa po oba say madamfo we man hwa melusu mi kunu ana say mi kunu empe intinu meti so mo say oti so ba say o the pressure to obi so a the more o nipa ne pressure the more nipa ne be resistive because say o force obi a o pai o the abakra ball pa to a point obeso abanim one day obeso abanim are resistive because who oppressing no say oppression ni ho a na say eye odo ntiase e na modi edi nkomo a bibia ni ho a ebeye 100% efie bia no my dears any mesi ameti asem na sefa no any mesi amyire ni beti asem ase because obia processing asem different. What must say obia processing asem different. Mrs. Takache minya be man so nkosha atare so be fan different ono so fan normal. What must say one processing mesi the other man processing ni de no but at the end of the day no ono so hu say oh there be me tone no ko ono so retracting ni tone no ema the other person na wanting as any better na ase biem. What must say entiase communication. Oh, me wife me catch and say, "Mama, me ye bibi na say on pa be catch me." Me so me ye bibi na on pa. I will tell you because I'm not in that school. Say me the bibi be she me no enye we say na me the nyoma gum. Enyoma me di gumu enyoma me nim say ebeboa me. Enye insem like asem aye kan ebeja akona me process insem. I don't do that. It's me catch me what. Me catch me wife say on tim ase a me ka bibi na onti ase ama me hu se me so me ka bibi na onti ase me ma wa hu
yentie dia man for
foundation bi
Frederick mentwa no yentie dia man for so ka ne omunyina na eye na obi mun sha say joto my points be so every
I think some other people want to come on it as well.
Yeah ko anienti
my do
already joined
because a free no Dakota that the Fred Namisha that the Fred program with the our program a huge papa because that's the way of who they are by a ensembly but kakra can say Bema asema make a minimum album intimacy by the betimase me the bia me bompa ye katino pense o ma me enye scan chineme obema unyankopon ammo hieni we bema we head family abusuani ti oba nyankopon bon se oye boafo enti se wo ware na wa mompa ye a ma nyankopon anhyirawo na ma wo yire enye scan chinwa
automatic odoba yakwa and the man munyentum so tiase we be ma e so bo homodin so be yiro ho aye adwuma amunyankopon ahiraw na wo di ahwe abusua because Bible say obaye oboafo nti bi bo wa yenyan niema no ensoa no nti ma we di nyesika chenwa obebre because on a chop money on AC ibro na dwena wo ko ho a obeka se wa bre so tiase ye me man so ade a wetin de agigi wani en nti so wo ko ho na we ka se wa bre automatic baby asumbi e ma fi but muska enough na utimi show ye de opedia wo ye ma no show ma oba ubu no no nso bebu oye na se de ma so tiase but so when nyesika no ba ni nyesika chenwa ene that is Fred ene ensempi in the same program we dey say ya ka say ka ho asema the whole day ti me point ni say obey ma nyesika na wasade a ese wo ye no aware mu no ye na oba no emwo wo ye sa de bia asumbi ofie me da se
o se obompa ese de bia no o de benyesika a chen oba no
Hello, Daddy Fred. Good evening.
Unfortunately, voice no from party into me. What me sorry, pa.
Hello, good evening, Daddy Fred. I'm programming on person about to be. Na me were adwuma mu nti me nkasa bebre enche. Nyame nim ne kure ni. I'm say one of the callers no I can say. Oh, sorry. Anyway, me kasa free UK. If me mama abna. Awade no bebre no. Afa no ejina ho ma commitment. Commitment ana me kana. Awade ankasa commitment. Ena left and right say obia ehubekomu na sekoba se ba akofo nko na ne ho akodi mu a dia na tese de ebinum adika aka no na enitie ya abam that the Fred nyame anim no kure ni me ni kun say obia ba ne kwan me kuro 2 years na me ba although ni enim ye ho dada e wo Ghana na ebedruye na minim se de me kuro ni sikasam esitie na minim se de ne nsachi esitie onye obi a ne nsachi etin ena nyame anim no kuro nso ni no enye eno nso nti na me hu no a anase me hwe so a me wone no ewaleye ebedro kontie mu ha enema bebre tesisi ewo ya wadem anase mpokra ne relationship so be ya obenya be ma ote wasemase odowo na ono obetina asudwem nti ma me eba se eti saade a me hwe machi ba bia ni aminim no dada no ono a ne mawa because minim no dada nim se do sitie na nyame anim ni se basika samo dia ebema awade one time se basika samo dia awade no ebegu one time e wokroma se bema no admisika eye basabasa se oba no agin kola no benefit bi na bema no ani wo mu dia aniye ebema awade no aye basabasa cause benefit ni bi hon ma emu di ye ebi mu di enti se bema no ko se bema no ye ni sika basabasa yes to na misa wo kola ni sika kakra ye di be ma no se on fa nhwe kola no na oba bi wo no mu a oye nyansani ben nti no on fa ni nyina entontade enye partisam ni momo no odi besidan odi beje japade and Fred me ni mi kru we me I said, yeah, if you know more, Mumadica, Cassandra say, communication, no. You could not on Cassabe. The mom said communication, say, yet a name at 2 years, dear. Sabaya, a bit too power, what dear mono. Me, dear, me, my Juma Mayano, me, dear, minimum 2 bills, our me, enemy 2 bills, no. Now, me could so. Ɛde ne deɛ no nso akɔyɛ biribi wɔ fie ama daakye ɛkɔ a yɛmenya baabi atena. Menkasa bebree na medi kan kaa ne kyerɛ sɛ mewɔ adwuma mu. Daddy Fred, ɛnti sɛ m'adwuma a bills a metua ne nyinaa no, sɛ mayɛ adwuma na sɛ mansi matua bills no, ɛpo koraa no, ɛto da bi koraa no a adwuma a mɛyɛ no bills no ɛnso me kunu saa yi bi ɛsɔ so atua bills no me.
All right, nti yatina say mohu said you see trade ye ni kunu ye ede emano. Yenko ha ni enko we so na fe momra na mo meyi nsema no. Mo aso mo nsem so dada. Na kuya nsema buku ma o nsem bebre.
Good evening. Mami Bani emi from Jerry's TV. Michia we TF nyina.
That was Mami Bani.
And conversation I'm having a very important topic. Yeah, mbani meme nyinano. Ye nyinano. You go through this situation, yeah, especially our for any more dating. Now your sister now or platform is so cassette. Marriage is institutional. Ukomwa. Idea wanna would choose ye. It's would mean free just like that. I understand where she's coming from. But I was so who say and pray bebree kwano obekọ into marriage na ebia beginning no be man ni suban e woni mu no oyi nkyerɛw until later on down the line. Imagine so when be ma wo hia be ma wan ka no kran nkyerɛw woni wo de woni so wo angel woni na kotena na in the middle of it no woni be ma ibe bra wo be wan se afedie wa fa wachi no no oba afoforo akọwo no wa fa wachi na woye normal wo pokura wuni na se later no fani sa normal we nyina na what say o say eye ade a ma choose nti no mentena ho just like that. And there I disagree. O worry na yawa wo no tifia wo do be kom no woman nothing or whatsoever wona won kasa wona wonya hwe. It is a upia one tip na ukoshe wadanfo put on wadanfo kasa na wani age. Some marriage no so no e healthy and as enye healthy. It is a bear man in some mommy. Bear man no me kwache ne so no oba ada. But the bia me tifi no de nkwala e ba de a. Eni de you okay ana. Some me person be business system.
Last audio we na fe mo.
Oh no, let me answer her question real
last
quick.
audio. Okay, answer question
quick.
real quick.
Yeah, it's going to be I think I'm definitely being misconstrued. That is not what I said. I didn't say that because you chose that person, that if the marriage is not going well, then that means by force, by fire, you should stay in it. That's not what I'm saying. So please, let me explain myself again. Hear what I'm saying. I am saying that at the end of the day, nobody forces anyone to get married. Any person that you meet and you decide to get married to, that's the person that you chose. And so choose well from the beginning. That way, when you go into the marriage, you're not taken by surprise. Because, uncle, let me tell you something. I'm someone who holds myself accountable. I have self-accountability. I try very hard to do that to myself. I try to be very honest with myself. Because if I'm not honest with myself, who am I going to be honest to? Everything that happens in life to you, there's a part that you played in it. There's a little part that you played in it. Like maybe, let's take an example. Like I follow my friends and I go to a party with my girlfriends. We go to a party, there's a bunch of men in the room. We're drinking, we're smoking, alcohol going up and down. I'm drinking vodka, I'm drinking this, Guinness, mixing all sort of drink, and then I pass out on the couch. And then somebody comes to take advantage of me. Who put yourself in that situation? First of all, I might not have called for that thing that happened to me to happen to me, but if I hadn't put myself in that situation, that thing that happened wouldn't have happened.
Of course.
I could have gone to that party and not be mixing liquor and be mixing booze and be mixing that and then doing snorts and all of that to where I pass out and I'm not aware of myself. So I had to take self-accountability and self-responsibility for the little part that I played in it. And which part did I play in it? I was not responsible enough to allow what happened to me to happen to me because I passed out. And so I was not self-conscious where I can react. So what I was trying to say is that when you meet someone, you have a responsibility to have a discerning spirit to know that, is this the character that I want to do life with? Is this the caliber of person that I see myself with 10 years, 20 years from now? And they keep saying that, oh, he will show a certain behavior and then he will show something down the line. That might be true, but it's not always true. Because if you're someone who is discerning, if you're someone who's in tune with yourself, if you're someone who is prayerful, you will allow God to choose for you because God don't make no mistakes. It's when we choose our own partners, that's where the home is, that's where the wahala comes from. All these conversations is because they're choosing for themselves. God is not choosing for them. But when God gives you his best, because you are his best, you don't have any problem. You don't have where we are talking about, and he's beating me or he's cheating on me and he's doing that for me and he's doing that for me. You see the man and you're like, okay, a lot of women go into marriages because of pressure. She feels like, oh, I'm getting old. And so that already, the foundation is already ruined. The marriage is already doomed because marriage has nothing to do with I'm getting old. That is not the concept for marriage. Marriage is about purpose. It's about what is the purpose. The question is, what is the purpose for this marriage? Why is God bringing us together to do life? Because it's for his ulterior motive. It's for a need that God has, and the two of you can meet that need together. That's why he brings you into marriage. And so when you're going into marriage because maybe your pregnancy clock is ticking, or you're getting old and all your friends are getting married, your idea, there's already a corruption. Your thoughts is already corrupted. And so you've already doomed yourself before going into the marriage. Again, so what I'm not saying that because you chose it, that whatever comes out of it, you're taking it. No, that's not what I'm saying. So that means even if it's killing you, you're there. No, that's not what I said. I'm saying that because you have the power to choose, you have the power of choice, choose well from the beginning. That way you don't have these issues along the line. Let your motives be in alignment to what marriage is, to the real idea and concept and the institution of marriage, the way God designed it. If you align, if your plans and your purpose and your thoughts are aligned to that, you lower the chances of you having to go through all these issues. So I just wanted to correct what that lady said.
All right, let me play this audio before you continue. Okay, Frederick, give me 1 second.
All right.
Daddy Fred, good evening. My program here come upon just that I've missed the basis, but all the same, mommy comments. You see, Daddy Fred, there's no format to handle marriage. There's no format that works for marriage. What I say, whatever works for couple A wouldn't necessarily work for couple B, nor work for couple C. Obia and in a background, we are coming from different backgrounds, different homes. A Bemani training, a Asamaya Katrin, a Barney training, a Wasamaya Katrin. Mamma story be Bema Abi Ami na ne mame, like he was raised by a single mother and wako worry, or even along his upbringing, the mother has to sell her house, her property, her only property, to care for the man, or turn it by and or they share the bani money call school. Mame no wa mami or baba kumpema baku. But then no at the share bear money school because bear man or feels a bear man in a banging about share a bushian. Or ye beni, mame ye beni. Like bear man I mean cast an asset or ye or ye beni. So that's the background. I'm trying to draw our attention on something. What's on it dime at the ashene banner with the intention that ne banny ye bear no only about share bushian. Now ne banny yen. A do time or better busian and a cocoa worry. Are you getting such a person? Are we saying, say, they really be finding it easy, be money be open up to the wife? Now let's look at another issue that popped up in the initial stages of their marriage. Then and then the mommy chatted so mistakenly or whatever happened and the organic of our phone. Or bear money mammy as sending message a catcher and say, on share ye not one funny sika and show banning the bush for because a tree for dear. Almost be worried before. Nay, you musica no more jump at the end. Make up what was saying. Bema bebree ne mmaa bebree efi a yefi mu by your background no crampo alone, especially we being Africans, your cultural background to make limit and to put our best behavior in marriage. It is very difficult. I just said Bema Usro Nyankopon, Bema one make it up in the mind is say awarena may warren dear menemere because the Bible says that for this reason shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to the woman to become one flesh. It's Bema Ubenya said
they're all friend no every UK no Mr. Wife audio brain.
Esua hono and ye Bema why determine say on any be honest.
Maybe I showed you all friend and Fred for audio brain. We're still calling, surprisingly.
Same page, we do things together. But say Oba and now Bema uncle worry a woman from such a background, and that's one worry a man from such a background. No worry from a man from the background. First scenario now it's not gonna be easy. It's like back to what I said, marriage, there's no format to handle marriage. And I believe say marriage is most they say at the end of the day Bema will fix such a home ne maame aton a japade e de ahwe no na busua aton a japade e de ahwe no oba so no so fie busua o ma brem atete o mo rem de ahwe no ebe ne say we ne de we ne de there should be omonya.
Unfortunately Mr. One Frefa audio brain
omonya budget o betimi aka say we na ye de busua ne photo ni dia. Then there will be an understanding. Now it's me the address so I am. It's my contribution, my person me for encan program me that's.
Yeah, that's it pa minuaba. Yeah, that was it pa so ne viewer or the aba. Messages in the Dawson.
Frederick, do you want to respond to that late
Yeah.
a beautiful sister, or do you want me to respond to it?
Yeah, that is friend.
Tobacco be any amene se papa no se or bomb price and a big yano. Now,
Funny.
and we so can family some
that is friend. That is friend.
Anyway, me come about so man for
the lady Nikan or you're right in a way, right?
In a way.
Me what me ya Kenny. What I say? My wife in ya Kenny, my wife ya Igbini. What I say? But me mother-in-law, it was very good rapport pa. We are very, very close. Me ankasa me to me friend or WhatsApp video. Me friend normal call me friend WhatsApp video. Me ne sere ebi wo krapo me hu say why down kra na me tia. Me to me friend encouraging, right? It's the relationship now only families ni na be building. Look, marriage won't. And you say what now marriage move 40 years and I say 50 years. And now we expert room, right? Even crapo say na crapo na what start crapo na. Sometimes you know what can be mu there, edia a measure wo there because one me papa ne me mami. Me papa worry me mami. So we but me mami me papa den kwala free baby buy. Right? My mother took care of them, right? And making sure someone go school. Baba kupe ono one person betna or person be call back. Until no gaza call back. I never saw say me mama say oh when any man say. But she took them in, she took them in, right? 80 minutes and I me who sacrifices are me mama yeah. And I dear me papa so yeah. Although no maybe papa no sometimes me I see in a way say family pressure no but still no she only me mommy would that rapport what I say rapport no because nipa na only ni worry ni chrome ni So what's my point now? Say,
International family pressure so to me create problems.
Pressure to me. It is a woman to me and sakami. So sakami to almost pressures ne pet. Then now after cracks name beam. What I say? The lady can I before mudi eja the omundi na ade. Twi for de na ade. Enti won say san ne money nyina kika ho and marriage no problems at time because your idea be say wo fast. Masa sudden this modern day enye ejuma. Yeah, I'm passing ejuma bi. So o papa money homodi because wo fast no. And I'm marriage, Michi. The na lady ne can say, lady Bakubi can say, on any kunu our 30 years. No, pay bills, minina or London. The same thing happened in London. Namiti program be or your pa or Ghana. Papa nene mamino aye a japadi o. Or catch a lady ni say, on funny sick and rent ni ways no funny sick and ye japadi. Omu ye japadi anyway, or catch a lady ni say. Eyo no ni sika e no de ye adwapade no na enye ni sika enye ni sika no what ma say enti no sometimes no emema ye di wo fase nyoma a show mu trim no masa ya brainwash omo fiti omo childhood enti no oware kura se den a na se oba no in a way wo so one fine tune ukunu no to suit you because enye apre ene edinya bibi o eye kasa ordinary conversation happens and understanding comes but who shouted me shouted on timid and as a we can never come to that point, that emerging point now ebema ye nyina no aye ajojo what I say they not let the back or car bronze ni say na sem no sometimes no tie mu a eye de kakra sometimes no enye de kakra what I say ye nyina no ye free baby ni abehie mu me do unti e na me ware wo me man ti mi sika me ka kire me ho say one me ware a me nyewe like me ware a me repe. That's my commitment to my wife, and I hold it dearly. Nothing can change it. Ade a me di ahye me twim no unless say ukunu no ana say nipa kro no look me one me ma peer pressure enye meduane because wo no wasem na wo ka no ene de wo ye no eni kwa enhu nya se me meye bi what ma say enhu nya se meye bi. Daddy Fred say madam fo me say na me wo Ghana na me na fofo baby am tena ye no na me na fofo bi omunum wi pa na me tira omunum but odi manum bi da me ko tira omunum on be didi maten on be bo chacha on be bibia metena on me on be di nkomo bebe bibia ba manum bi da but people always pointed say me no but at the end of the day no mu say me no you know.
I want no personal too much, but sister ne can say be say only obi tifie. Only okunu tifie so on kasa ho. Abrochire isi ya bebre.
Of course.
Obi on say just imagine okwa abonti no ni obi di nkoma. Na ni che.
Can I come in?
Come in.
Okay. So I want to address what the lady said, the one you just played. I want to answer to what she was saying. She said marriage has no format. Well, that's not true because she kind of contradicted herself. Because after she said that, then she quoted scripture. Well, that is the format. The word of God is the format to marriage because the one who ordained marriage is telling you this is how marriage is done. This is the manual.
Sorry, no, you're traditional marriage.
No, but she just quoted the Bible. So she just quoted the Bible. So if she doesn't go to church, she quote the Bible. So the thing is, it's like you buy a Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz gives you a manual to your car. And they tell you this and this and this and this and this is how you take care of the car, you drive the car, and this is how you preserve your car. So the one who ordained marriage, the one who created the institution, is giving you the format that if you follow, you're going to get the expected end. If when you go outside that, that's when you have issues. And so, she said that there's no format. So I've answered that. There is a format. It's man, love your wife, wives, submit. That is the format. You go outside of that, you're on your own. Now, again, she said something. So that what I just said, that's the prototype. That's the format, and that's the roadmap. And then, she said something about, families coming in and whispering and talking and doing that. One thing that we need to know is that a lot of things that we do, our belief system is as a result of where we're coming from, right? Our culture and our traditions. Daddy, you know the work I do. And funny enough, I'm working on this program for the station that I work for called The Other Side of the World. And so what the other side of the world is, we travel to the nations of the world, and we are showcasing their culture, their traditions, their lifestyle, their food, their arts, their language, their music, their dance, literally life and how it's done on the other side, right? So in America, or let's say we coming from Ghana, the way our culture, our traditions, our music, our dance, our arts, what is arts to us, what's artistic to us, is different from someone in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And so the way that I will see marriage, or the way that I will see, or my idea and my perspective about an issue is going to be heavily based on my background, where I'm coming from and how I was brought up. So just the fact that me and someone from the Philippines doesn't agree on how marriage is done doesn't mean that they're wrong or I'm wrong. It just means that because our culture has affected our thought patterns, that's what's creating indifferences, right?
But even though they try to make it work, because
exactly.
Most of the times, say worry, say Ghana ni ana bibini worry bronia up a coin bias or money work here. Don't you know worry Ghana ni to me money work it.
So the thing is, marriage, there's a prototype. There's a formula. Honor your wife, respect your husband, and that's it. Once you do this, everything else is secondary, and everything else will come together from there. Once you mix that, that's where the problem starts, right? And so that's where you need to build from. Now, in Africa, not just in Ghana, in Africa, when you marry a family. You don't marry just a human being. It's in the Western world that when you marry, it's just me and my husband and our children. No. In Africa, that's not the kind of marriage that we do there. In Africa, the kind of marriage that we do is the entire family. You marry a man, you marry his entire family. So if the entire family are drug dealers, well, guess what? That's what you married. You married a whole family of drug dealers. That's what you signed up for. So the mother, the father, and everybody else influence the marriage. Is it supposed to be that? No, it's not supposed to be that, because that's not scripture. That's not biblical. Marriage is supposed to be the man and the woman. But the same Bible that says that you cleave to your wife is the same Bible that says you honor your mother and your father. So the fact that you get married doesn't mean you cease taking care of your parents. So to what she was saying, where the parent was telling their son that, look, I went through, I had to do this and do that. I had to sell everything to take you to school. So the fact that you're getting married, don't leave me and then go take care of your wife and his family. Of course, she's still going to tell her that, because your mother did some sacrifices. Your mother did what she had to do to give you an education and make you a responsible man, to where someone else's daughter wants to be your wife, because your mother made you that responsible, to where you attract someone as a husband, right? And so then you go back to scripture where it says honor your parents, and then you honor your parents. So you want to take care of your wife's mother and father, there's no problem with that. If you have money enough to do that, absolutely. But that does not negate your authority and your responsibility towards your own parents. So take care of your mom. Do what you're supposed to do for your mom, because she did what she had to do for you. And then do what you have to do for your wife. And if you want to take care of her family, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, the two is not mutually exclusive. Actually, the two is mutually exclusive. Your responsibility to your parent is your responsibility to your parent. Your responsibility to your wife is your responsibility to your wife. The two has nothing to do with each other. So I just wanted to pinpoint that out.
Yeah. So
as I point to you didn't answer. Mama 1 minute, but never answer. I remember me near Frederick. So You have bear maybe can't be say. Or there be our bomb pie say in here near no in Jessica. I'm interested about that particular issue.
No. I think I need to defend him to his credit.
Because
and I understand where he's coming from. Maybe he did not properly articulate what he wanted to say, or maybe express what he wanted to say. Maybe he didn't use the right words to express what he wanted to say.
Several times.
But I understand what he's saying, because he was saying that a man is supposed to be the head. A woman is just a support. Uncle, a woman was only created to support. I always say, Uncle, me, I'm me say me bro. Debbie. Me, say me bro. I'm a very responsible woman. You know me, I'm a very hardworking woman and very ambitious. I'm very, very ambitious. I want what I want and I work hard for it. But the thing is, a woman is supposed to be a support.
Yeah.
When a woman that becomes a replacement to the man's hard work.
1 minute, if I. Hello. Hello, what to say? I'm saying, my fan about 20 minutes, and unfortunately. Yeah, I to say.
She's my niece. And I didn't know she's that intelligent.
My whole family is coming on the show today. This is ridiculous.
That means if you are married or you're not married, you are obligated to take care of your parents. It's about time I Ghana for my Warren. I see the traits you must say. To marry me in your right. So papa. Yeah. I don't have the right to decide for my husband what to do with his own mother. It's about time you guy that is totally wrong. Number two, the format of a marriage is what Nanekia is saying. Submit to your husband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too.
Love your wife. So yes, worry they're successful.
Oh, sorry. What did I say? No,
I'm getting choked.
Oh, sorry. No, monsieur, never be why. All right. The Kosumini meet you.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, the thing that the man was trying to say is that God made him a head, so the responsibility of a family is on his shoulder. Now, when when that aspect is negated, that is when you have a woman trying to be the authority figure. When the woman is the one doing majority of the work and she's been the breadwinner, when the helper tends to be the provider, then you've already switched it. You've already messed up the whole thing. And so then of course you're going to have a problem. So I understand what he's trying to say. Say, so what I say, now he should be in the power of, he should be in the place of authority to be able to tell his wife, don't stress your wife. And tell her that, she's tired. Exactly, that's what he's trying to say. But if he is being in the place of authority and that the responsibility of the family is on his shoulder, and the wife is just being the helpmate as she was created to be, then the wife doesn't have anything to say that school fees, bills, and then we are saving your money for maybe when we go on vacations and stuff like that. When I come home and I say, okay, let's have sex, we're having sex because you haven't done anything to be tired. So let's have sex. You don't have any excuse. But when she's gone to do all sort of things, and then she comes home and minds the kids, and then she has to cook, and then in the evening you still want to jump on her. Of course she's tired. She's a human being. She's not a machine.
Thank you, Nanepia Dasi. Frederick Yanko. Nanepia Dasi.
That is right. The na man ne kano. Fabia no cry Fabino. So after all, say Oyira kunya and the good job. Na say or the good income or bar. Look, sometimes the way I'll be treated or bar, the way I only be from the beginning, or what sika dime ma or no ankasa the bebrel. A ma bi wo ho a to me do kunu to the extent say ni sika e wo ho no obetumi de siesie ni kunu se na be ya okọ abonten a ne nafofo be hu se ni kunu no ekra na ewo sika sen no. But guess what? Obana is that sacrifice when you na ma wo be ma na e say taking good care of her no. What ma say no? Na fe no be bu ni kwase a.
Yeah.
I mean, there was going to be a problem.
Obviously.
Because that is Fred Messi and Martin won. Who shall buy ye? Who ye ni ye? Or the idea be a crabby or baby shonsa. Be sound called the mau. It's a fact. But you say when you are now, also, I feel all realize when you tibia. Also, best started so protecting him. Or the protection baby. Or bow crowd dear. Now say open so one year, a casa. Oh, mommy we or the bema. What must say? Then oba here love or nya care. Ocean or so only be crowd the way I'll be treating no crap on. A bema so o catch and say, oh, mommy, and I mean crack you. Or better was here. Yeah, mommy, we saw all those things growing
2
up.
minutes, mommy, na audios be baby, or I mean more audios.
Yeah,
No
I think
problem.
we should play the audio so we can answer, we can respond to the questions.
Koso Frederick,
and, you know,
for 1
whatever
minute.
you're saying.
That is Fred. Oh, say we are all partners in this game. O deɛ say obɛdɔ me. Me so me deɛ say mebu. Na sɛ mebu. Na sɛ wobu me kwase a. I mean, there's going to be a problem. Na sɛ me so me dɔ. Na sɛ wumbu me a. There's going to be a problem. Enti say nyinaa yɛntumi coming together. Sɛ ukunu show some nneɛma bi na sɛ onti ase a. Enye na say there say wo de ntokwa beko ba ukọ na ukọ bisa ne say that is fresh sometimes say me ba ho na say why me boni mpo na say me ba na me de me de akaka bensem ba so a also de akaka bensem be hia me ba say me ba na nka say that is fresh ade we aye me de ba wanye ni ye kra that is fresh in the way no wani be wu o chim say ade am ye de manye ni ye what must say manye ni ye ba sem no say o de pem na ono so de be pem I say aponchi ntokwa no na ase asem no ba say ba say se me ba na se me catch us oh me kunu na say de me kaso an crap on fi me say my order that kind of thing in a way no betumi a maneuver to the obema na kuma mu back yen try say we can win when there's a problem. So say ukunu or stage bia or go through so many things, family pressure, ebia ejumemu pressure. Find a way and tune the man. What I say, fine tune him. Obeba back to you because ono no bedo first. Oba anko se obema pe. Obema na be se oba pe.
Frederick,
Sorry,
another person.
Uncle, wait. Can I say something like just 1 minute before the fine gentleman just jumps in? Sorry. I just want to add to what Frederick is saying. See, a man, no matter how much money a woman has, it does not negate your mandate to submit. You having money has nothing to do with you submitting to your husband. Any woman who feels like she has money, so she's not going to submit to her husband, that's a very immature woman. By the way, I just wanted to say that. And any man who cannot be a man about his woman making much more than him, even though she submits to him, then that man also has personal issues. It has to do with self-esteem issues that he needs to work on. Because you have to be a man, whether regardless he makes more money than you. You are a man. It doesn't negate the fact that you're the head of her and she is the neck. Just wanted to add that.
All right, Frederick, remember I should be, mommy, 1 second, right?
No problem.
Yeah, Vinny and Patrick to say.
Daddy, first of all, me that was and then first time back show so.
That I said, I didn't say okay, say free him.
From Francis because of Finland. But I'm too quiet.
Yeah, too Casa radio. Yeah, too Casa.
But just name.
Is it it?
Yeah, because of Finland. Yeah, but I'm too quiet. No more like US last week. Yeah. Yeah, that my worry 10 years yeah. I
10
say
years.
yeah, Obia can yeah. So but my wife in Ghana. So and before say be worry no. Daddy, me set boundaries be my wife we boni. So yeah, o mamienu. Me set boundaries be because ono no fit different culture neighbor. So and be me flip by me Ghana ni. What I say. See before say be worry no. Me chen say okay. Now we are about to marry,
Also,
right?
Ghana ni wrong.
Honestly, on your brony, yeah, on your Ghana.
Okay.
The can you say, so tune the culture near the Econe. I miss me the minimum culture and can have them the day, no. What you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, until we in the culture and the Econe, and I miss me the miss me culture and the twin chain. Tiberi and yeah, critique your own culture. So, say at them the day, no. Yeah, because me as a man, no, I have to create my own, I have my own universe, right? Because I don't want us to have problem. Then at the end of the day, no, you family, your family bit my day. About your relationship, no be a better now, Jenny. Now, Miss My many I day. Abana I day. Also be acting out in us, I'm out and basa. So then, I mean, you have an
And share your name straight. Share your name
yeah,
say.
okay. Miss Ashley screen, so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so then, I mean, you have an equia cano. Say, about friendship and say be our bano. But you're me.
You too, Kapa.
Yeah, say me have an equal case about friendship. Say be area as a or bad want me have a friendship and that no daddy. Person me honest. Me say no. Me I can't be really I can't have women as my friend, right? And before we marriage, daddy, everything happening in relationship everything's supposed to be between me and you as my wife, right? Because when they come with solving the problem, no, I can't go anywhere to solve like talk to my friends about anything about my relationship. At the end of the day, somebody can be really third person. I don't want any advice because as my partner, if something doesn't work, something is not going wrong or something is not going right, you have all responsibility to talk to me. And that the and second partner person me teach me say Ghana na ye no say my obi what me ka say oh yeah ya worry na obi kwatimi ka say okay obi kwatimi 34 years say oh me person me catch my na opo ba my mom oh Ghana as a man no that me mean to me sad no me say no because I have my own responsibility because I know who I am, I know who I represent, I know what I want. How about if me catch my say he said me penny feel my dues no me say where they opo ba my
Ghana.
yeah, daddy, it doesn't work. To me, it doesn't work. And those kind of things, I have a lot of friends that are heading. Of course, mom be play because omuni man, daddy, can be me way. No, my catching my message on poor Bama or Ghana. Now for Ghana, na me kono, daddy. About me, shani that, me nyane that, me who need that. So, no, by way, my that. I don't know anything about this woman, right? Yeah, yeah. And I'm in the worry no ebony. Me can say okay, my background no. Yes, my responsibility here me taking care of my family sometimes, So by equity me own boundary say okay. Now we in a relationship, there will be a time, Daddy, and I mean the most beautiful woman I know is like the woman who follow my instructions, really. And I don't believe in love. I believe in respect because as long as I have respect for my woman and she also have respect for me. That's all I want, Daddy.
Into the
Yeah, because
open respect.
Daddy, that one is my 100%. I
All
believe
right.
respect than love. That's
Into
all
in
I want.
conclusion, there now be candidate chat for their mind.
Yeah, Daddy. No person be saying the next year say, I want to know more about the friendship. CB, yeah. Yeah, that no, like I say, as a woman, how can I can be friends with such and such and such and such, But by me before say me and Mr. T-Band will say, yo, no, there will be a point. Of course, you are allowed to do whatever you want, right? And yeah, of course, you have free, you have your own universe. You can live, but you need to follow my instructions. If you don't follow my instructions, this relation can't be. That's why I believe in respect, really, 100%. So I want to ask Nanekia, have you married, please?
I don't know if that's a popular question. Everybody is asking. I see in the comment, everybody is asking if I'm married. I think I'm just going to put like a question mark on that and not answer, just so I leave people to just wonder.
Okay.
But I think to answer your question, I'm not sure what exactly I said that you got that from. That I'm not sure what I said, but I think what you're asking is when we were talking about, when Daddy was saying that there's a lady who her husband was telling her, like, you can't have friendship and stuff like that. What I was saying is that at the end of the day, this is the foundation of marriage. Women submit, men love. And so you coming to me and saying, because at the end of the day, just the way that we met, you came to me, you approached me, we fell in love, and then, you know, we started talking, and then we realized that, okay, our purpose is the same, we're going the same place, we have the same values, you know, we have the same interest, and so we can do marriage. Right? And so then we got married. That's the same way that you do not dictate to me in a relationship. You're not a dictator. You're my head, but I'm also your partner. I'm your neck. If the neck doesn't turn the head is just going to be there. So the head depends on the neck to turn. And so don't treat me like I'm beneath you. Treat me like a partner, because that's what I am. Talk to me, call me and say, love, my love, you know, this friendship, this particular girl, I don't know, there's something about her that I don't like. Do you mind not being friends with her? Because my instincts, there's just something about her that, you know, I can't gravitate to, but I don't want this relationship. So for the sake of, you know, our peace of mind, just so we have a cordial marriage and we're good, do you mind not doing friendship with that person? Now, that is the way you talk to a partner. That is the way you talk to someone you respect.
Yeah.
The person you don't respect is the person you come and say, look, don't do that. I don't like that. Don't be friends with this girl, period. No explanation, no nothing, and just walk away. I'm not your child. I'm not your daughter. Don't talk to me like that. Talk to me with respect. Tell me, sit me down and tell me this and this is that, why I don't like your friend. So don't do friends with her. That was what I was saying. That, you know, be respectful, be nice, be loving. Tell your wife, have a conversation. Let there be an understanding, you know, why you don't like this friendship, so she can end it. Don't just dictate to her and be like some sort of like a communist party kind of marriage. Like, that's not what we're doing. So I think maybe that's what you wanted me to elaborate on.
Yeah, Nana, can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
I don't know, like, you know, okay, and I don't know. If you want to marry, right? What do you expect from a man, like, you know, specific like men you want, and what do you bring to the table as a woman? You
personally, or just in general as a woman?
You, yeah.
Okay, for me. Uncle, why are you laughing?
Oh yeah, but I'm interested listening to what you are going to say.
Okay, so for me personally, the one thing that is important to me, it's not negotiable, no bueno, is that he has to be God-fearing. Because for me, I am a Christian, and so I go by the biblical principles about marriage. If I want the marriage that God ordained, then there's some steps that needs to be met. So for me, I'm looking for a godly man, a man that submits to Christ as Christ submits to God, because Christ is the head of the man. So once he recognizes that Christ is his head, and then he is my head, and then and so then he already met that principle of marriage. And so I know that this is a man I can respect. This is a man I can submit to. This is a man I can honor. And so for me, it's very essential that he's God-fearing. Everything else is secondary. And personally, I will not marry a man who is like, you know, I'm kind of getting myself together. One day it's going to be okay, so come on board. No, that is me personally. I don't do Debbie. No, you're getting us.
Yeah, but Naneka, you know what? Naneka, yeah, it's very interesting. You know, sometimes, you know, you can marry your own monster for 30 years without knowing. You know that it doesn't matter if he's a Christian or not.
Oh no. That is not true. That is not biblical. That is not true. That is not true. Let me tell you why it's not true. There's something called discernment. There's something called a discerning spirit. I'm not talking about Christianity where you're doing Christianity like, oh, you're going to church on Sunday and then you get out of church and then you go fornicate. That's not the kind of Christianity I'm talking about. I'm talking about a relationship. You're in a relationship with God.
Nana,
that you hear from God and God talks to you.
Lower the volume of your this thing, my radio. Why?
Oh, okay.
Nana, what's up?
Yeah. So I'm talking about someone who is in a communal relationship with God. And so you hear from God. God orders your steps, because Bible says that the steps of the righteous are ordered by God. He orders your step. You understand? So you're in alignment with the word of God. God is going to, because you're special to God, and you trusted in God, that God, I trust you with my finances. I trust you with my work. I trust you with my health. I'm going to trust you with my marriage. I'm going to trust that you bring me into the marriage that you have set aside for me. And so if I trust him with that, he's going to give me the man. Because you see, a lot of women do this mistake. They pray a general prayer. Oh God, I want a husband. What do you mean? God, I want a husband. Okay, he brings you a husband. You have to be specific, because God answers. God is a God of specific. Because you see, what God doesn't do, he doesn't share his glory with someone else. And so when you pray a general prayer and it happens, you'll just leave it by chance. But when you say that, God, I want a God-fearing man. I want a man who maybe, honors his parents. I want a man who honors his leaders. I want a man who is responsible. I want a man who will love me and take care of his children. I want a man who's this. I want a man who's that. When you find a man who has all those characteristics, you know for a fact, without a doubt, this is the prayer that has been answered. But if you pray a general prayer and it happens, how do you know that this prayer God answered it? Because your prayer was general. And so anything that comes, it just comes. But if you give specific, and when it comes, that's how you know that this man is God brought this man to me. This is an answered prayer. And so I disagree with you about not knowing the person. I think, when you have a spirit of discernment, you can discern. The Holy Spirit talks to you that's not the one I have for you. When you meet him, oh, that's the one I have for you. You understand? You will have, not to say you won't have problems in that relationship, because remember, whatever God loves, the devil likes it too, just because he wants to mess with God. And so you're going to have problems. But because that the foundation is already solid, the foundation is already grounded in Christianity, it's already grounded in faith and God, the problems that come, you will have the confidence and you will have the ability to be able to withstand those hardship times. They're not going to be issues like, oh, he's beating me, or he's cheating on me. Maybe he will cheat. I'm not saying he might not cheat, but the thing is, you will have solutions. You will be able to solve those problems. There will not be problems where you're like, God, I'm so frustrated in this marriage, like you gave me a wrong husband.
All right,
because God doesn't make mistakes, right? And so you would know.
That is one more question. Question. Nanakuya, I want to. Okay, let me speak to you. Also a Christian, remember, Opedema or Strunya Menes, Adia, Okanina, may I understand? It will be assay, right? Besim bisa one question. Opeso or Bema or Christian side that now. Before no, only be have affair before marriage, and I say only be married before affair. Because this kind of things no. Obetima worry sa be man walk no. Only have affair. But before be worry no. So nothing the be man no timi e satisfy wo mpom ya.
Ebia na odo benada no do kuada ene de aka ho.
Daddy be man a Christian we be by the same man make you satisfy and Pama Daddy. No a Christian or so by.
See. The thing about obedience, it's obedience. Things happen. The fact that these things happen doesn't negate God's word. God say, don't do this, you're not going to do it. If I'm going to trust God to pick right for me, I'm going to trust God. I'm going to go all the way in. And when you talk about affair, I think what you're asking is sex, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's the thing though. Once you start thinking like that, your whole concept is already corrupted. You understand? Your whole ideology going into it, it's already corrupted. So you've already set yourself up for failure. The thing is, you're going into courtship. How else do you know someone? I can't just meet you today and then marry you. Even if God told me, Naneka, this is your husband, I still have to go in a relationship with you and still know you. That I have friends who have done courtship and been celibate. They did not have sex and they have the best marriage. Because the thing about sex before marriage, let me tell you something, my brother. The thing about sex before marriage is when you go into when you already have sex before you get married, you have something to compare to. Because when you go, if you're a virgin and you get into marriage, there's nothing like, oh, I'm not satisfied. Because you're not satisfied. What are you comparing that satisfaction your husband is giving you? What are you comparing it to? You have something to compare it to. That's why you're saying you're not satisfied. Because if I'm a virgin and this is my first time having sex, whatever I have, that's my best because I don't know any other, right? But if I've already had sex and he put me on cloud 100, and then my husband is only able to do cloud 50, then I'm comparing my husband's 50 to the 100. And so that's where the problem happens. That's why they're telling you, don't have sex before marriage. That way you don't have anything to compare it to. Because when you have something to compare it to, you already set up yourself for failure.
Really? Do you believe
Yes.
so? But
yes,
really,
I absolutely believe so.
I want to be honest with you, really.
And that's not the biblical. And I don't know if you're a Christian, but that's not biblical. For you to have sex before marriage, it's not biblical. Yeah, but it's not biblical.
Of course, I believe in God.
But having sex before marriage is not biblical.
No, listen. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, right? But sometimes, listen, I understand where you're coming from. But I want to be honest with you, really. Like, I can't go straight to marry, like, without being with this woman, like, for a couple of times, at least 18 months, right? We need to get to know each other. I cannot go straight to marriage, right? Without having anything with a woman. Like, at least 18 months is like.
What do you mean by anything? You mean sex?
Of course, I want to get to know you. Like, if we marry. No, listen. I want to get to know you. Listen, Nakia. Listen. I want to get to know you. If you're not your behavior. That is right. That is right. Obia me say no.
Meet you.
Meet me go straight about me from one Canada. Na
I'm sorry.
Na me worry be dey anya adwuma anase
no
man
ko adwuma na akoya na
no daddy wait
that is when they kuye Ghana for no what you say and they Africa for e dey nyame and we go ya dey say take our own responsibility, right? If you na kuya me be say me worry daddy minim ni da what you say
no
na ma ko worry straight abrame fa me ho Canada me nya no hwe da daddy can you grow because my worry na wie no my worry na wie o afri bibia ekoyi afri mi saka ba ya bibia no ekoyi
oni bibia ye oni skills bibia oda
test drive what me test drive
but that is fair.
For example,
that is fair. There be brand e ka no me ne nya adwen because say me ba bro dia bra me ti was here no conversation e bia me say wo ti wade ase fa nya sa na mate ase afa that is fair. First ye culture ye kosire obi aware, right?
Has to be a virgin, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ukosira obi aware say titipo no na omukosira aware no omuko a say wonko kan hwansa na because your culture doesn't permit you to test the lady before you marry.
Asana.
Say
that be say o person who say e bia oba no bibia e kama.
That is Fred. That is Fred.
Yeah, daddy.
Ade a wo hwehwe na wo hwehwe, right? Me hu oba me pe no. Mama me krapo even ye fa Bible nto a enchen. Ghana ye pure amamre chere say hu oba na ope na kone maame ne papa na koka che omu say wani ji akwala we hu person ware no. So pa no akoka che u parents no oma be hu the other family before you can even go forward to even do anything. Not necessarily say who or bana na pam.
Oh, Debbie.
No, bro. They not lady they can. They not sister I can. Say minim na unim. Ye be share mo ade pete. Ye di ne kakra yan ka say be master a game.
Okay.
Oh.
And I say ukunu anase oyiri nim bibi ya kire no. And I bro, mami chiro ade enso e wo Ghana for me ma bi hu. Say oko na bia ne yire crapo ideas a obetumi e dia mani kunu na in a way no e me mani bi hu o mani say omu ye dwamanfo It is so all crop on in bibi, ebia wati bibi, e wana su. Say crofo din komo. Ebia wati bibi wana su say, ye ni say, or yama ni kunu crop on, ni kunu besen chano aka say, ne yere ni sebio tafrancho, ashawo ni anase bibi sa. Yeah, because so udani ni say, say, udifa say, sadie we
can we see some of the comments?
Yeah, enti na Nyankopon nyanse mu no. O say, yeah, enti na Nyankopon nyanse mu o say, ware nipa na ansa. Enti mo kwa, Messi amu be starting no. Eno na mo di be graduate akọ. Because minim, na unim. Ni ekohiem. Ni ekohiem na de odi ba no enye de mi mahu da. It's going to create a problem.
Nah.
But seminim, na unim na ebehie mu a ye ne petre a as time goes on we develop our own concept ye di be enjoy yen ho what must here nyanka say developing nyanka say concept ye di be ye ade no what I say but say what come obi akono e bia wakonom eduro bi na ode abesi usu aye doso a
Matewa say but menua be 1 minute dia be nti na wo pese Udi kind so here and son and your banner.
Oh, Daddy, can we see some of the comments, please?
Yeah, Daddy. Yeah, Daddy.
I'm coming.
Daddy, don't say your generation now you see ano. So me tina nepia say on a Christiani ni say what a Christiani ada Daddy. Also obabu or Daddy me na me be waro as a man because I know who I am, I know what I want, I know what I represent, right? As a man, right? Because Daddy I want to get to know you. I want to know who you are. If your character matches your behavior, right? Because member wario ebi obana so member wario ebi obano ochene be wario no me be ma so nya adwuma bi ma daddy ene no because me ma hu before I say my parents member wario no they get to know each other because they were in high school, right? They have married for 64 years now. Really? Yeah. Because my taking advice from almost side. What I say? Say the me can. Say be a virgin to was here. No say be a sin. Me say right. Okay, who be man no? Obana be worry we no be man so near adwuma. Ochina bi no kan kro oba no me yesho so be feel comfortable. Obetime bibia obetima to Lamborghini bibia man. Daddy still na nko dey enko sipi. So that conversation me no be have here. I'm agreement or the next day no because me say as some kind no yeah because your generation a woman no a different Daddy a different because I mean me 100% what I say but ye be nyame and to the bia me Daddy me just say ko yesa
enye nyame bro enye nyame po asa Daddy Fred even cry your culture ya mamre cry as Africans craponu. It doesn't even give you that warrant to have sex before marriage.
Can I say something real quick?
I think you understood the whole everything right, really. Like I'm saying, like if you want to get to know a woman, at least you need 18 months to get to know the woman you want to marry. Like yeah.
18 months.
Can I say something? Can I say something real quick?
Because if I don't know who you are, like no, we are going to marry. I think.
Okay, so you're saying two things that it has no relation to each other. Sex has nothing to do with getting to know someone. When you're having sex with someone, you're not getting to know them. You're literally just having sex. That's just what it is. That's one thing. Me getting to know you is me hanging around you, me going around your family, me seeing the people, me checking to make sure, okay, who is this man I'm in love with? Who does he honor? Does he honor his parents? Because if he honors his mother, he's going to honor me. Does he respect, who are his leaders? Who are the people he look up to? Who does he aspire to be? Who are his mentors in his life? What does he care about? What is his value system? What does he hold dear? What is his principles? What is his work ethic? What does he believe in? What does he like? What does he dislike? That is getting to know someone. But you're talking about sex, and so I think you're adding sex and getting to know someone.
No, it's not about sex. It's not all about sex, right?
But that's what you're saying, though.
Like if you want to get to know, it's in every aspect, right? Because when I'm talking about getting to know you in intimate way. Like I want to get to know you if your character matches your behavior. That's what I made the point first, right? Because getting to know you isn't like I want to know you, like what are you bringing to the table? Are you feminine enough, like to submit me, right? And at the end of the day, I want to know like our sexual. Of course, I can't marry you like if our sexual doesn't work. Like, can you imagine if you marry me and my PE doesn't work? Like, would you feel comfortable in our marriage?
All right,
I'm not
indeed,
gonna
say it
marry
was
you when your
I
PE
don't
is
want
not
us to
gonna work.
drill more on that,
Oh,
please.
that we are
Boss,
learning,
I said, man,
yeah.
I'm chat to the Amaya.
That
That Finland. I said, man, I'm chat to the Amaya.
Daddy, yeah. That's also say family call because then first time, yeah, Obi Kwana introduce you to me, yeah. Because and I manage the audience so no, my me call playback no, my show videos now, So, but as me buy, then so can ask my interest, about the friendship, those kind of
Oh, yeah,
and I really
don't
appreciate it. Of
worry,
course, we are
okay?
all learning, we are all
Yes,
learning, and we are
be
not perfect.
prepared for why.
Yeah.
When
And
the
Thank
man
you.
manage you, when the man manage you, oh, by now you're quiet. Why you doing? Actually, now the heat, boom. Oh, so you feel happy, so feel free.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's my respect too, pa. That's my respect too.
But
And
next time,
me
you be
respect
invited,
to be as
why?
well. Yeah.
Next time, you be
Yeah.
invited, why?
Yes.
The
Salute.
salute,
Yeah.
super. Thank you very much. All right. Did you, my dear, no more share? We more audios be so amount for a day abre and INT bikakra. Emre no HINT. Maybe no so cochini and a drop chini. We more audios. Yeah, to us, audios be a bit do anti. Yankona, Yankoti be a was, yeah.
Okay, whilst you're playing the audios, I'm gonna go look for my battery because my charger.
Yeah,
I have a low battery, so I'll be right back.
Do you know? Young question after you.
Evening, Daddy Fred. K Green and the Mecha waiting for ne abidja for a panel program is when you rain Mecha the gentleman. I'm sorry, sir. And to meet him.
Frederick, yeah.
Now, man, starting the program from the beginning, like I said, maybe I told so. But now, maybe I must start it. Maybe I maybe told so I must start it. Me build the understanding up till this point. Now, lady, kase, me say, oba biya akosi dying, and because Nick Nuni financially reckless, and oba nem so oba ne si dying no DSC. Ne husband no enim. At hona me beto so that's where I've tried to build understanding subsequent to discussion and why any na enti at hona me pese me can be back up. Say o partner reckless would ne sika sem musa no na se ebia no nti o ye japade bia ne was say obeye no say in my understanding ne say ube set partner ne down say you kunu ana ye wo yere ana whoever is involved ube catch no say a japade say na meye but memma o emeye directly involved because mahu say usika semonto to ye enye that sound enti me ankasa me take charge meye ade no but the difference here is say memfa wo mehye bi Emma wonye involved because of the way I want to sikasem. Not every step of the way said that I was in stages. Why a foundation? It's other see my foundation away possibly put the photo be a channel. This is where we are. Maybe I want to ask why a block work now and I could do to sell lentil. One man report or saying I could do, but I'm still not getting you involved. So when I say udi kusie na partner ne find out I was say who say is bad repercussions udi sia na so no ankasa ko find out I was say who say from that time till the end of the marriage say mo be jai o so who na betete mo ntemo I was say who say serious repercussions be ba wo a yes ade no so because udi sie one movie ade no nyina from the other person being reckless to a trust issue over here. And say ebia say scenario, you know, say bibi say ye mea ne make ye say me frɛ ɔbaa ne de natena ase say ɔbaa because we sika sɛ mo ntoto ye ɛnhyɛ da nso mani adeɛ sei na meyɛ on the side menji wo sika kora nka ho bi me ankasa meyɛ but meyɛ for me ne wo ne mema ɛne nkwalaa ɛwɔ awareɛ no mu no meyɛ ama ɔmo but I won't get you involved. Me ankasa me take charge. Me from baby a me feel say my whole day betimi asum bia no. Me ankasa me but memma of the progress of stage bia ade na dru bia no. Inte ho the partner no bete ne ho ase say eye me a me suban nti. Ena ade a ababa wa yi ana krachi yi you know. Or say omfa me nka ho bi because me financially reckless. Inte ho no de o partner be anadwene da ho na ware ho hia no bia na beti ase say e ono ne conduct inti na project ya e koso yem financial bi but we kosie dia what play big gamble it could make you win say bia obenya property and say it will make you lose say ware be good enti no kakra me wa me de beka ho no enti me da obi ase
me nua ya da ase pa o say what play gamble to account.
Hello, that is Fred. Yeah, my cyber should be according. So discussing we're able to make discussion of 4 years. Yeah, me that. Marriage, you know, said they're not organic and principles. You know, sometimes a year juma, sometimes a year juma. If you are film, there might be what we any gain of a per man. Sounds soon there might be what we any gain on. What I say, because I wanted to hear the detail. To cut this matter short, choosing a life partner can lead you to heaven or hell. Because baby, I do my bro, baby, I heart attack, baby, I
you obey 5 minutes, baby. Why? Enti when you fan running up.
Baby, car. I'm going to car accident because of life.
Also.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yankupon on Chusu and Ma or Berma and my MBM Wajai.
Yakupon Chusu Wajai. It's them say Merenetia and Tiamfa 2 minutes each in running up. Why? The Merenetia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inti member and Equia so nafi member Frederick so I'm fan running up my why. 2 minutes there ben now bekana yeah sorry.
What mechanic say? Oh, say, oh, my yatron, yama, what my young kind. I there, uko.
I'm running to know you better trust next time.
Uko, my pana.
I'm ready to better trust next time. Why?
Okay. It's the mechanic say. What I'll say is, first of all, you have to, if you want a marriage, the way God has ordained it, you have to follow the foundation and the principle of marriage as ordained by God. And one that is, husbands, love your wives, wives, submit to your husband. And then 2, please have realistic expectations when you're going into marriage. Hold yourself to the same principles and the same accountability that you hold your partner to. Don't say, I want a man who went to Harvard, but you unko school cry. That's not realistic. Don't say, I want a man who makes 6 figures. Make kind so also a lazy woman, like you don't even do anything. You're just home looking for someone to foot your bills. That's not a realistic expectations. And then also, if you're selfish, please don't get married. You have to be selfless before you get married. And women, please prepare for marriage. You know, we prepare for a lot of things. We prepare for work. You know, sorry, you prepare for work. You prepare for exams. You know, you prepare for like functions, your birthday. You'll plan it. Maybe your birthday is like December. You'll start planning it from January. So why don't we take the same time to prepare for marriage? Read marriage books. You know, take mentors, people who have gone ahead of you and have done it right, because that's how you learn and prepare yourself, you know. And then another thing also that I want to say is be honest. be honest with your partner that you're going into the relationship. Don't go in and not be honest about it. If you're doing something, marriage is not about me, it's about us. So before you get in, because Bible said he who finds a wife, so that means you have to already be a wife before you're found. So you already have to be a wife material. You already have to be a wife material. You don't wait to get into marriage and then before you become a wife material. You already have to prep before you go in. That's the way it works. You understand? And so, be honest about the expectations of each other. It's about us. It's not about me. It's not about you. The money is our money. It's not my money. If you guys want to save on the side and do your own thing, that's fine. But even that, it has to be communicated. There has to be an understanding. Two cannot walk unless they be in agreement. And so make sure you're in agreement. Make sure that, you're submitting to each other. You love each other. You're being honest, and understand this fundamental thing, that marriage has very little to do with love. It's about purpose. It's about, Bible said, for this purpose. And so you need to ask God, why is the purpose for which I'm going into this marriage? Or why is the purpose you've chosen this person? Or, I'm partnering with this person. What is that need that you have that me and this guy are coming together to meet that need? It's bigger than you. It's not about you. And that's why, they make it about them. That's why they go in and they have all these issues. It got nothing to do with you. If you understand that you're going in to fulfill a mandate that God has, you will take the self out of it. You will take the self equation out of it and make it about us. And so that's just all I'll say. And, just love each other, because at the end of the day, you also need that, that fraction of love to hold it together. And so love each other, respect each other, understand that it's a purpose. And I think, eventually we're going to make it work.
No, you better watch it. Probably about that you viewing.
Daddy, I'm so called my parent. Into our own person.
Into the probably about you viewing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. I've been here, Frederick Land, Mamma.
Yeah, that is Fred. Yeah, we sure a new program now.
No. Bye. Okay, right. Frederick,
that is Fred. Ese yenyina yenti ase se aware eye menewo. What you say? Ena o ware so a oyire mame, oyire papa, ukunu mame, ukunu papa. They also matter. What you say? Ubetumi afro mo, ubetumi ni omo abonde. Find a way na eni omo bonde. Only ukunu a parent, any oyire parent.
Ma enko trainer the promise will be some ebony audio.
Okay, no problem.
This is my mama nyadi teaching us why.
Daddy Fred. Moajo. The chia only were tifu nyina ani wa herefo. You guys are having a great program. I feel so you aba no. Na nekua any your brother no mobile so nyina they've all given good points. But our here 3 key points.
3 key points.
Communication, understanding, and trust. Say, sa niema miensen. Emu baako bia is missing. Our area no will suffer. Intino, so bia warrior. As I saw making sure say, niema miensan bodini. No partner. Mutimi and navigating very well. If you guys are not having good communication, my warrior no will suffer. If you both don't have understanding in that marriage, so our warrior no will suffer. And then the strongest point of it all is trust for each other.
Trust for each other.
Say, oba a trust in the bema so trust in the year. All other things are yakani in the 18 are supporting areas. You can navigate it back and forth. There's no blueprint for marriage. Even though our sister says, Unyame neshisha aware. Inti aware no, so one follow the biblical principle na enye no. I agree with her to some degree because enye obi a na e Kristo ni. Enye obi a so na e kremoni. Obu onko sorry. Inti say nipa no so no na ware say ni besi akwafa. That means onko sorry now enye Kristo ni there. That means you don't need to get married. Inti hono I think I'll push back a little bit. But
I really admire the pointer what me through on this discussion because a lot of people will also learn from it. But I'm going to emphasize communication, understanding, and trust are the strongest things in every marriage. If one of these three things are missing, our reign will suffer. You know, Mebo Abaso is such a very important topic. Now, if you know, I'm saying we shall see no. Oh yeah, no say abruchira warrior, and you know now how to address it and also contribute to that. You know, for me, I wasn't so sure whether I should make it broad and I say, "Minfenyina abruchira dear." Abruchira warrior no dear. It's a beast on its own. The reason I'm saying that, they say, mostly our pressure no comes from family no titru ewofie no. Because yana bi o hono mu ade we on the pressure to our ene so no. E frustrate mu amo tu anamon se mo ware no. Tize mo enya mo ankasa how mo besi communicate and mo solve mo issues and non so would destroy the marriage. Nti onyame mo bia akokodro ni ahoden ene nti ase ni enkoso a ni na dan ebeye is some people have done it so we can manage it the mom and show be there na famare with there because e bia no be there a working man on that same concept no man now working yours but if you have the communication the understanding and trust you make it. I mean, come on.
All right, yeah, that's it. We didn't come on money audio nanka and then cry because no, my promise is a man, intimidating as a pass and then contribution. When you see my back on me fan sorry.
Yeah, that is Fred. I say, me break crowd back aside. We conclude assembly in Apple because your kind trust, communication, understanding, respect. Say you know sad the my home. To my best of knowledge, you know, it could work. It can work because metewa ote mase ansa na me se ope na one penny ama. Me to me go forward. It you know say ya twem pnapo ye to me ma bibi work ya. Den tin ya ware mu no ade na to me work. It na say sometimes you know yes take entrenched position position be taking very to the style say yeah to me even coming to a point I bet me at and was it SNT say yeah ya dream to me nko bankroom ya dream and to me nko bankroom da even crapo only oba crapo adwin and to me nko bankroom enye pe da any given time be an obi abe having opinions but say nyina ba to the table say okay for idea bra me koye ejuma o baby me drew hono e construction company bi papa ne ka kire me say me idea bi a me share what ma say me tino na me bra na oba mu no e kasa no say oni ne yire e ba together no or set boundaries bi oh sanyoma ni nyina ye komo a ese ye making sure say ya my partner ne ehu certain things ansana ya agree say be ware me yire say na me pe o also can dey also hwehwe o looking forward for ne ye finding ways and mean na betumi a work it together because say ut metifie na mentumi hwe anim na me kasa on female papa one awukun because at the end of the day only netifie so what is the term of papa nchine da papa nchine toa glass o manyam glass nko ayanyam yedigu aduane mu kakra one awukun all right that is where we are mintina yes miss me da was
live or YouTube the announcer newspaper so Facebook the announcer newspaper Madam Frederick say one also submission nana queer really about me da sepa nana queer me so baby I will be a mechiao oba no amanfo ani age performance ho pa nti mechiao me ma adwo e wo New York minim say bibi etu mpon kama obi akomo amojane e baby obi a ojane ye no we a late night show bi a ye de ebremo nti instrumentality timsana na bia e discuss the niama bebra bra e discuss ya ye de bremo nti adamase emrepam no mobete ye nka Queen B at the same Queen B mechiao baby a will be of Virginia Queen B mechiao from ha nam de besi midin Daddy Fred erade nka obi a ho se wonya adaje enya mre adwene makramu